Okay, let's get started.
Just raise your glasses high. This one's sweet.
A beautiful little turtle has come out of its shell, and Amy and Riley are now ready to raise hell. This is turtle time.
Wow. I was hoping hell would be the rhyme.
Really?
Yeah.
When you heard shell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was going to be something about us going to hell.
Amy and Riley are now officially going to hell. And then we say the worst things anybody's ever heard. Would you like that?
Yeah.
But what about raising hell?
I like that.
That's kind of fun.
Because sometimes we're little stinkers.
We are. I'd say we're 80% good and nice and virtuous, and then 20% we say the worst things anybody's ever heard.
Yeah.
But we don't get canceled very often.
No.
Do you think we've set
only like one time where we scared, but
Oh.
it was on the Patreon. So if
yeah.
you know, you know.
Yeah, if you listen to our Patreon, there was one moment that I thought Amy and I would never be able to record again.
I did notice whoever this was, this is for you. I was reading our Apple reviews, which if you do that, we love you. There was an Apple review that said, wait, was it an Apple review or was it no, it was an Etsy review for our merch, I think. And it said, "Rip Charles McMansion."
Oh, man.
And I was like, I see you. I love you.
Yeah, that's a perfect little inside joke for all the people. If you're not a Patreon subscriber, I mean, we ask you every single goddamn week to subscribe, but we say horrific stuff on that potentially, could have gotten us canceled.
It's like Howard Stern over there. We're really pushing the envelope.
Howard Stern never got canceled?
No, his like I think I'm surprised that he doesn't get canceled in retrospect. I think a lot of people in their minds still would consider him canceled in their minds, but as a society, he has not been canceled. But it's hard to defend him sometimes when people play back the old stuff, and I'm like, he's not like that anymore.
Right. So it was before an era where, you know, you would potentially get canceled for sure, and then people, it's sort of his shtick too, right?
Yeah. No, I feel like he has a lot of celebrity support at this point, you know, and all of his interviews, I think a lot of celebs that have been on his show have considered it a really good interview for them.
Right.
So I think he mostly has people on their side. And if you listen to the show, I mean, it's kind of like South Park, where it's like, that's just what it is.
Right.
You
That's
know?
what I was thinking. I was thinking South Park. I was thinking Larry David, where it's just like, if you try to say it's offensive, you just don't, that's the entire point of it. So it's just, they're kind of uncancelable.
Totally.
In a way.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So Howard Stern's like that.
Yeah. I love it.
Good. You love him?
Yes.
Do you like his chemistry with his co-host?
Robin?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just like us.
Are they a good duo?
They are. She only chimes in when necessary. Like a lot of times in an interview, she won't say anything for a really long time. She's really there for like support.
So she is really like a talk show host, co-host or whatever.
Yeah, like Ed McMahon or Andy Richter.
Yeah, or the guy in the Larry Sanders Show.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Tambor.
Yes.
Who's canceled.
Canceled.
He was so good though as Hank Kingsley.
I haven't watched it.
Every week we talked about a new beautiful HBO show that you've never seen.
It's been on my list forever, and I'll get to it one day. There's just so much to watch these days.
Is there? I feel like it's a full-blown drought.
Oh my God.
Well, bravo.
So overwhelmed. We had to watch like 7 things this week.
Yeah. Also, I watched everything like 3 times just because I want to get to the point where I know it like the back of my hand, and I don't have to rely on notes, to where I can just internalize it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I watch it as many times as I can, but there's 4 shows to watch. Not to complain.
Yeah.
But it is, you're right.
It's a lot. Also, for people watching on YouTube, Riley does have an ice pack under his hat, if you're wondering what that is.
This is for my silly YouTube heads. If you're a YouTube subscriber, you love when I put silly stuff on my head. We do this all the time. This week, I have an ice pack on my head. So, also, I want to say this at the top instead of at the end when everybody ends the episode and doesn't want to listen to us. Please, for the love of God, if you enjoy Turtle Time, which we know people do, you say you do. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, Amy is now ice rolling herself.
This is just good for your face anyway.
We're raising hell, and it's hot in here. But anyway, subscribe on YouTube, please. If you've ever loved Amy and I, and you've ever even loved one thing we've ever said, and you have a YouTube account, please subscribe on YouTube, because then Amy and I can pay back ourselves for those BravoCon tickets that we just bought that cost more money than anything in the world.
Talk about raising hell. The subtotal or the total, depending on pre-shipping, was the number of the beast.
666.
Yes.
Wait, the pre-total
Well,
was or with after?
The actual total was $666, but then it was $11 to have the tickets shipped, which brought it to $277.
Do you think Andy Cohen specifically wanted the ticket total to be 666, the mark of the beast?
I hope so. I mean, that almost, it brought a little smile to my face as I was crying about how expensive they were. And they're also the shitty GA tickets. So we're spending the number of the beast to wait in line like a bunch of schmoes.
So 666 divided by 3 for 3 days is awful. Also, I had only just come to grips with 550. I was like, okay, 550 is horrible, absolutely awful, but I will spend it. And then it's 120 service fee?
Terrible.
Oh man, what service are they providing?
None.
Locking in the ticket and digitally making sure that, I don't know, the wristbands get sent to you, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, and then there on top of that, there's all these slots to buy Bravo Palooza tickets that are
Drinks.
like little events.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they're hourly or they're just throughout the day on each day. Those were an additional $2 something. I didn't buy any of those.
Oh, wait, the add-ons, or there was a full-blown like Bravo Palooza tier, wasn't there?
No, if you clicked through,
Oh,
it was
I didn't.
like basically an event.
Oh,
I
where
think.
everybody's drinking and eating?
I think so.
Let's go to it. Do you think we can go for free?
I hope so. Can someone help us?
Yeah, what's going on with these press passes at BravoCon press at NBCUni.com? I've
We
sent
should
maybe...
probably bleep that.
Why?
I mean, I guess it's public knowledge, but I don't want them to get bombarded.
Oh, no, I mean, if you're press, I think you should. No, it's right on the BravoCon website.
Okay.
And we love Bravo, and we love the BravoCon press team. Obviously, I love them
Yeah.
more than life itself.
We
I'm
need
just
to
saying-
find a name.
Yeah, we need to find a name. If you know anybody in the press world of Bravo, please.
All of
please,
NBC Uni.
Yeah, talk to the people and say Amy and Riley are legitimate press. They raise hell,
Yeah.
but to a good cause. Bravo.
We'll do a whole song and dance about our reach, our engagement.
Yes.
We can really bring the noise and the funk
Yeah.
to BravoCon, and we want to cover all the events. There's going to be Watch What Happens Live will be filmed there. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of stuff, but right now we basically only have tickets to be on the grounds.
Which is fine. I mean, we can still raise hell and create content and, like you said, do a song and dance for
Yeah.
everyone. But, yeah. I mean, let us do everything. I mean, we want to do everything. We could always sell those tickets that we bought, possibly to someone if there's demand
come
for it.
through.
Right. But anyway, just please, if you're on the Bravo press team, come on. This is a legitimate podcast, right?
Yeah.
Everything about it is legitimate.
We couldn't be any more legitimate.
Listeners, microphones, a laptop that records us,
Yeah.
publishing on Acast. What else?
Yeah. We also, this is a little insider info for our business turtles. We have applied to become an LLC. So that's what's more official than that.
This is an LLC, a limited liability corporation. Oh, also, you can't sue us.
Well, you can, but we'll be a little bit protected.
Well, what they sue?
But yeah, they can't sue us as individuals.
They can't take like my car,
Right.
Or I don't even really own much.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of capital.
my car. Do you have a car?
I
that's
own a
paid
car,
off?
yeah.
Oh, if you guys took my car.
Don't take my 2007 VW Rabbit.
And don't take my beautiful, beautiful 2014 Honda Fit, right? I think it's 2015.
Oh, that's pretty new.
I was gonna say or ask you while we're talking. I was wanting to come up with one question so this would be easy if we saw any Bravo celebrities in the general admission, if we were like they're walking around, like say Jill Zarin or Madison LaCroix or anyone, a catch-all question that we could just ask to only take 10 seconds of their time and then have a compilation of the one question they answer just to keep it. I mean, we could also do one question per person if we thought of something like I have a question for Candace. I have a question.
Yeah.
But if we also just had one question we asked everybody, that'd be
Right.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that question would be. What's your favorite film?
We should do that, actually.
What's your favorite film? Right?
Yeah.
And they're like, Catch Me If You Can, The
Yeah.
Departed.
That's a classic red carpet tactic.
Is it?
Then you can do like the edit. It's just easy.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right. Well, something like that.
Did we talk about that Madison went to the Top Gun premiere
We didn't talk
and her
about it.
post said, "Mission accomplished," a picture with Tom Cruise.
And then her like press team or agent or something posted a photo of that in their story and said, Tom Cruise whispered in Madison's ear that he watches Southern Charm and she's his favorite cast member.
No.
Yes, I swear. Tom Cruise, well, they could be just lying. Obviously, they could be lying.
I need the link.
I swear, people on Reddit talked about it, and also it was a story that disappeared. So maybe that press person was just trying to make Madison like gas her up.
She's a little bit untrustworthy, in my opinion.
I agree, but I think the world in which if Tom Cruise loves Bravo so much that he watches Southern Charm, and then of all people, his favorite cast member is Madison. It's just
It's so niche.
yeah, it's amazing.
Wow.
So I want to ask her that.
That's something to think about.
Do you mind if we ask Madison if Tom Cruise actually said that to her?
Yeah. And also ask her favorite Mission Impossible.
Oh, what do you think it is?
Maybe Ghost Protocol.
I was going to say that.
It is a good one.
Ghost Protocol, so good. That brought the franchise back to normal after J.J. Abrams kind of sullied it again. Yeah. Did you liked Dead Reckoning Part 1?
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I didn't really understand the plot.
No, it was a lot of details.
At all. And they kept, it was...
Gabriel, what was it called?
It was called The Entity.
The Entity.
And then Gabriel was like a ghost. He was working for The Entity, and you couldn't see him in any VR headsets or whatever.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I liked the part with the riddles.
Me too. When it said, "You are done." Yeah. That was awesome. That was so cool.
Yeah. No, it was fun. I liked it. I feel like it's not a movie I necessarily would need to see again.
Yeah.
Just because I already got my satisfaction, but
yeah, I loved Fallout so much. I felt like Fallout's probably my favorite of the Mission Impossible franchise. So this was definitely a step down for me. It felt a little sillier than Fallout. Fallout was treated very like grounded and realistic, and this was just like all the VR headsets and an AI that's like commanding.
But now Tom Cruise is coming in to warn the strike negotiations about AI. He's like, bitch, we just made a whole movie about the dangers of AI.
Wow.
If anyone gets it, it's him.
That's true. That's actually true. Did you see that the studios are like, we're going to use AI to like copy background people?
Yeah.
So they
what do you think about that as a casting director?
I would say it's good for the studios, like a good idea for them, but it's horrible in every way for actors.
Yeah.
And
they're like, hey, if we give you $40, could we use your image for life and beyond the grave?
There's going to be some people who do it.
Yeah, for
They're
sure.
Gonna, like, put me in anything.
Of course.
It's going to be like the Wilhelm scream where you're going to see one background guy that has like, he's characteristic or whatever, and you're going to see him in the background of every like coffee shop and every movie.
Yeah. I always think about that, like when you see those scenes of a swath of a crowd, like, can't they just already do that anyways?
I was just going to say that anytime you see a crowd in movies now, it's CGI generated. They have one crowd of like 40 people, and then they just like replicate that and put it around in a space. Also, George Lucas in Star Wars, he didn't have enough money for extras, so he put a bunch of cardboard cutouts in that final scene where Chewbacca and all of them get their medal.
Oh, right.
So he was sort of like an early like...
Well, it's like how they use... It's kind of less used now, but painted backdrops.
Yes.
But they're actually really beautiful, and I think some people prefer to use them.
Yeah. Greta Gerwig was just saying that about...
Gurgle.
Greta Gerwig was just saying that she loves painted backdrops like Wizard of Oz and
they're so pretty.
Some of their shit, because she was like, that's my inspiration for the film Barbie.
Yeah, I think, they use them for that. I feel like Wes Anderson must use them.
Oh, for sure. He was just the whole thing. He was just painting everything.
Yeah, he should just make art, like regular art.
Yeah, he wants to. I mean, I think his favorite thing is just to make the animated movies where he can control every single aspect of it.
Makes sense.
But they're bad.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So, before we get too far in, we have breaking news.
Oh, right.
This will be about 24 hours old by the time you hear this, but...
That's not too bad.
Pretty good for us.
Breaking news, yeah.
Considering we tape at the end of the week. But we got... So, everyone probably already saw, James posted a photo, because he's in Tahoe right now with the cast, which we'll get into, but...
Yes.
He posted a photo with Graham, the dog, and said something along the lines of, like, you're with me now, I'll take care of you for life.
Yeah. He was like, it was, well, first it was like, first you saw a dog in the photos, like that are coming out of Lake Tahoe, and people weren't 100% sure if it was Graham. It's like, could it be another, what is that, a golden doodle?
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of speculation about if it was. And then yesterday, I think last night.
Okay.
Was it last night or today?
I'm not sure.
Whenever. Okay. Very recently, he confirmed. And he did the most beautiful Instagram claiming Graham. Saying, I'm going to love you forever. So that speculation, it's over.
Yeah.
It's Graham. So I guess I assumed, I don't know, did you assume that Raquel had just like given James?
Yeah, I assumed that, she was probably like, my life is chaotic right now. I was just away for a long time. I don't know where I'm going to land next. Like, since you were his dad originally and we took care of him together, can you take him back? Which she probably should have done 3 months ago or whatever. But then there's an update.
Yes. TMZ says a source directly close to the situation or at a shelter or something said that Graham was dropped
Surrendered.
off. Yeah, surrendered to a shelter because of a behavioral issue, biting problems, which, unfortunately, those biting accusations were confirmed by Ariana in her Call Her Daddy interview.
Yeah.
That was one of the most salacious things, actually, that she said.
Yeah, she said he was like a demon.
She said he was biting her dog, right?
Yeah.
And just...
ill-behaved.
Ill-behaved. And I was like, I guess, I don't know. I mean, when a dog is... I have one of the most ill-behaved dogs of all time, George Michael. So I don't really blame the owner for ill-behaved dog. I thought it was just kind of like Ariana being a little catty.
Mm-hmm.
And... but then that's confirmed. And then I guess if Raquel... I don't know. I guess... Did Raquel, you think, had custody of Graham right after she got out of the mental health facility and then said, let's take this dog to a shelter? Or do you think the people who are watching... Graham?
I don't know. I mean, that seems insane for her family or whoever to surrender him without her consent. I don't know which is worse, if she were to have done that or if someone else was to have done that. I don't know. It's just... So, yeah, the story is that apparently Vanderpump Dogs got a ping. The red phone rang and said...
I think it's sort of like Mission Impossible, where Lisa gets on a screen, it pops up and it has Graham's face and it starts to blink when it's entered a shelter.
Yeah. And which we were questioning. I haven't watched that episode in a while when they got him, but I think he was from Vanderpump Dogs, which would make sense then because when you get an animal from a rescue, they stay tied. Like their chip has the rescue info so that if they do ever end up in a shelter that the rescue can do something about it, which as we all know is exactly what happened with Lucy Juicy Apple Goosey, which is why this whole scenario is insane because we've already dealt with Lisa getting pissed that a cast member returned a dog from Vanderpump Dogs.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so I think we should just say definitively it is most likely that Graham was rescued from Vanderpump Dog Foundation because the timeline makes perfect sense. Lisa already had Vanderpump Dog Foundation going during this time. I would assume if Raquel was going to get a dog, she would get it from there.
Right.
And it makes sense that that's why Vanderpump Dog Foundation was alerted, just like Juicy Lucy Apple Goosey. That's the name of that dog?
I always get confused about the order.
Yeah. So anyway, this makes this whole thing way worse. Makes Raquel look horrendous, which it could have been a kind of either a neutral or endearing situation where she gave the dog to James because, like you said, she knew he could take care of it better.
Right.
Now this is like you were going to put him in a shelter so he could get,
put down.
Either, put down for his biting or given to another owner, which to me, as a dog owner, is, no shame to someone who has a dog that didn't work out or whatever, but it's like, to me, that would hurt me so bad.
She's had him for how long? 5 years more?
Yeah, so...
That's crazy.
But then, just to be a little bit of stinker, just to raise hell, the 20%, how the hell could this actually happen in a Bravo world, where a storyline like this has already happened? I know that a lot of dogs are probably returned to shelters, and it just so happens that Vanderpump Dog Foundation probably gets alerted to a lot of this, and there's more even going on, but still, it's just so wild to me that, of all things, Raquel did an even more egregious... this is more morally, like Jimmy was just saying, before we started, you can almost forgive the cheating, and some people have already forgiven Raquel for
Right.
cheating and being like, they all did it. They all did it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
or she was
corrupted.
manipulated,
She was
yeah.
corrupted. This is like so ethically unambiguous. This is just morally reprehensible.
It's
if
also
it's true.
she came straight out of the facility talking about that she was going to reclaim her old name, and she was certainly worried about or had her mind on public perception. And if that's the case, then why would you let this happen when you know for a fact that the press is and the cast are going to run with this story?
Do you think because she changed her name to Rachel, she didn't think that she was the true owner anymore of Graham?
Yeah, the adoption agency was actually like, this contract is void. You have to give her back.
Give us Graham back.
But it's like, even though everyone on Earth hates her, maybe, or she might feel
90%.
that way, if, there are probably thousands upon thousands of people that would adopt that dog.
I mean, I would have almost done it. I mean, I'm
foster, maybe?
Yes. I mean, you're exactly right. Thousands of people would have potentially helped Graham and
Right.
rehabilitated that dog.
Well, I wouldn't, because I have a senior cat that would be
Yes.
pissed.
Yeah.
And what I'm worried about is Allie and James live together now, and they have 2 cats already. And if Graham is a biter, I'm worried about those cats. I hope that they have them in mind.
It's already been sort of confirmed lightly that the transition is going to be a hard one with the cats and the dog,
I'm
because Graham is not
scared.
ready for prime time with
Well, at
those
least have a
cats.
yard.
Yeah, for sure. That beautiful James backyard.
But it's not a huge house.
What's your suspicion level to this? I'm only being devil's advocate. I almost believe this story 100%, but do you have any suspicion about the Lisa angle of it? It's just
7 out of 10. Sus.
really. Oh my god, I'm the opposite. I'm like I only have like a 2 out of 10 on my suspicious conspiracy theory.
I'm
brain.
just like, okay, first of all, I'm going to raise hell.
raise hell.
It happened on the cast trip to Tahoe. That is clearly a Lisa mastermind moment where everyone, including Sandoval, is going to see the groundbreaking of her new restaurant, which
Was
is
it even the groundbreaking? It's
well,
I
it's
guess it
under
was.
construction.
Yeah, right.
Like in the background of some of the photos and stuff, it's just like half torn
And
down.
you saw Sheena and James like pounding the wall and
Oh,
stuff.
did they?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's already weird. It's like, why are these people going to that?
Well, I understand that. You know, they have
I understand for the show.
yes, but why logically
Right.
would
Would like 10 of them all go? Like maybe
Also-
like 2 of them.
also Lisa to get this show, it's coming out in winter or whatever. It's opening in winter. She has to get Wolf by Vanderpump on this season of
Right.
Vanderpump Rules early. Like sorry,
The
my
hype.
ice cube started to melt. Get the hype going. This season already seems so Lisa centric. I'm like
Right.
stunned.
I think she's pissed that everyone was disrespecting her. Like
Yes,
I
Jax.
held firm against, where everyone was like, why do we even need Lisa on the show anymore? Like, she's not our boss anymore. Her place on this show is moot. And I'm like, well, now she's never going to
Yeah.
leave,
Yeah.
because
Now she's like, get your ass to Wolf by Vanderpump right now and break some ground.
she's like, we're
goddammit."
actually going to take a private jet to Wolf every night, and the whole show is going to take place there.
Okay, so suspicion about why they're there, the fact that Graham was rescued on a cast trip during the season of filming, the fact that it's Vanderpump Dog Foundation, that it's Lisa.
The fact that Lisa was essentially fully taken down by that very scandal.
Yes, and this is like
So-
retribution.
If she wants take 2 to try it again.
Well, that was just a quick detour. That was like the most shocking thing about the Lucy Goosey Apple Juicy. That's her name, right? Lucy Goosey Apple
Lucy
Juicy.
Goose. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes much more sense. That Lisa caught the brunt of that for just trying to out that Dorit had given a dog back to the shelter, remember? And then it was
Right.
all about how Lisa had orchestrated that thing, and Dorit caught no hell for
Right.
actually giving the dog back
Yeah.
to the shelter, right?
Yeah. Wasn't she, what was it? Dorit gave the dog to someone, a friend of hers, who then gave it to like a kill shelter.
Awful. I mean, and that's her like distance
That's
from
her
it.
out.
That's her out, but that's
Although if I did that, I would be so involved. Like I'd be like, "How's it going? Like,
You-
let me know.
you
You,
have
know,
to.
I'll take him back.
You have to.
Whatever."
And also, like Lisa said at the time, or whoever said, you notify Vanderpump Dog Foundation that you're doing that so that they can keep track, because it's in their interest to make sure that dog that you rescued, you continue to rescue. So
Okay.
Dorit, that was so awful of
I'm
Dorit.
sick of everyone. I think almost no one should have a pet.
What do you mean?
I think it should be harder to have one.
Can I still have my dogs?
You do a good job.
Archie and George Michael?
Definitely.
My 2 little boys?
They're your priority.
And you have a good pet?
Totally.
Yeah. Okay.
I
So
just
some
mean, you know, you look around, you see dogs that like aren't allowed to go inside. You see, you know, just sad shit. TikTok makes me sad every single day.
There's bad dog and pet owner stuff on TikTok?
It's terrible.
Oh, no. I can't even.
TikTok makes me cry every day.
They never give me that stuff. They
You're-
know.
I mean, it's because I watch it. So they're like, "Do you want more?"
Is it? Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. You'll have to tell me off.
I cried about an orca yesterday. Like, just like sobbed.
That is so sad. So this is bad, awful of Raquel. Oh, but if the suspicion level is high, like you said, 7 out of 10, it's so suspicious. Is Raquel like embracing her villain era or something?
That's the thing. Why would she allow it?
I feel like it's, you know, in like screenwriting, it's like you can't have your hero like ever kill an animal because they become
Yeah.
unforgivable. You
Save
can't have
the cat.
Yeah, save the cat, or you can't have any character abuse an animal because they're irredeemable.
Right.
At that point, that's why Christopher Moltisanti or spoiler alert, but you've
On
seen
Law and
it.
Order?
No.
Oh, wait.
When he
I was thinking of Chris Maloney.
when Christopher on Sopranos, he does something unfortunate with an animal. It's like, can he ever be redeemable after that? They were testing
Why
the
don't I
limits
remember
of that.
that?
When he spoiler alert for Sopranos, skip
5
5
seconds.
seconds. Remember when he suffocates Adriana's dog when he's high on the couch? You remember?
God. Oh, doesn't he like sit on it?
Yeah, he sits on it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I was
well,
picturing like a strangle.
Oh, no.
That was a bad era for him, but
Yeah.
he goes on to do worse.
Oh, much worse. Yeah. But anyway, so Raquel, I don't think would ever let herself portray this much of a villain in order to further the drama of the show.
It re-ups the age-old question, what is wrong with her?
What is
Just
wrong
when
with
you
her?
think that maybe you can give her benefit of the doubt or have some sympathy for her, you know, because it was Sandoval, whatever, you realize that something really ain't right.
Something ain't right. I mean, I think we talked about it every single episode of recapping Vanderpump Rules. Something is not right, and it's something where, for sure, I don't think personally she should be allowed on camera anymore.
Right.
Because I can't guarantee that she won't make an even worse mistake, which it sounds like she's already gearing up to make even worse mistakes.
She looked good in that paparazzi photo. Do you
you
think
notice-
she called the Paps for that?
For sure. Did you see her hat?
What did it say?
Be a good person.
It did.
Yeah.
Wow.
It said, I'm going to send Graham away.
Oh my God.
Awful.
Dude. Okay, so yeah, if we get an update, maybe we'll insert it.
Maybe we'll do maybe in like an or a half hour we'll do a turtle piss. We'll piss our brains out and then we'll check if there's any update. But if your suspicion level is high, 7 out of 10, but you don't think that Raquel would willingly let herself do this for a storyline, because not a lot of people would ever let themselves.
But that's the thing. I don't know what she would do.
True.
It's crazy what she'll do.
True. Okay. All right. Oh, one little thing I wanted to just end this conversation about these Vanderpump Rules updates, which are actually pretty wild. A fan saw them all at Lake Tahoe outside of Wolf by Vanderpump. And, I mean, this fan, her name is Bailey, I believe. She got an iconic photo. If they were all walking out of the event or whatever they were there to do for Lisa, they were all walking together. Sandoval is a part of the group, as a part of it as you can be, where they're probably still not warm to him, but they had to be there for Lisa. But anyway, this fan got in the photo with them, and he's in the middle of Sheena and Brock, and he's holding Sheena and Brock. And did you see it?
No.
Oh my God! It's so wild. It's the whole cast except for Katie and Ariana. So Lala, James, Brock, Sheena. Who else is in the cast? I think that's it. And Allie. Allie's there. And then the fan is in the middle of all of them. And Sandoval's just in the mix with all of them outside of Wolf by Vanderpump. And Sheena and Brock are smiling because it's for a photo. So
Yeah.
they're all like chummy or whatever. And it looked really bad. It caused a little bit of a uproar last night.
Yeah.
Because people are like, Sheena, of all people, how can you betray Ariana by like smiling and posing for a photo with Sandoval?
Yeah.
And then Sheena said, They were all there for Lisa, like
Yeah.
you said. She made them all go to Wolf by Vanderpump.
Yeah.
They're incentivized to go to every event that they schedule because they get a bonus at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So it makes sense monetarily why they all went. It makes sense why Sandoval went for the drama of the show. But Sheena said they're not in a good place. She hasn't forgiven him. They were walking out of the event, and by where she was standing, she just happened to be next to Sandoval when the fan came up, and they wanted to do a good photo. It was her birthday. They wanted to make a beautiful photo. So people were very mad at Sheena. She took
People
the
need
brunt
to
of it.
chill. It's
Yeah.
like, again, what show do you think we're watching?
Right.
They have to go do stuff. And actually, I'm thrilled that they're forcing him to be involved because that's hilarious. They just have to hang out with him like every day.
So every day. So far, the scene I'm like looking forward to is the scene. Well, not that Tom Sandoval cries, but it's that he goes to Tom and like apparently everyone is like hanging out, having fun or whatever. And then Tom is just sitting in the corner after talking to Kyle Chan. He's just crying alone in a booth in the same restaurant as them. That is so wild.
Yeah.
Also, I guess people are saying that Lisa is the only one that can get them to do scenes together. So she's trying to pump out as many scenes that make sense for them to be in the same room together.
That
and
makes
this
sense.
is a great way to get Sandoval involved.
Do you believe that a hot headline from this week that security had to separate LVP and Sandoval?
I did not believe it. First of all, they said cameras were down, so no one caught it except for me, this anonymous reporter, which, yeah, right. Like, there's no way that the cameras were down, or that I think that's just an excuse to say this will. If you don't see it on air, you will think it didn't happen, but it actually did.
I mean,
but also,
I could picture him saying some fucked up shit. I mean, he did tell Terry Maloney to like go fuck herself or whatever.
yeah, but it said LVP was screaming at him. I can't think of an instance where Lisa's ever screamed
yelled,
at
yeah.
anyone. Like,
Yeah.
even in her most passionate fights with
Yeah.
Kyle Richards, with
Yeah.
Brandy, she's never screamed in her life.
No.
And also, I just
That's
don't.
when Ken has to come in and say, "Goodbye, Kyle.
Exactly. Ken screamed.
Goodbye,
for-
Tom."
Yes. Oh, also, like you just reminded me, Ken would kill him
Yeah.
if he ever screamed at Lisa. Also, Lisa's his only ally. And Lisa's still his business partner. I just
Yeah,
didn't
she's
believe
the
it at
only
all.
one that will give him any benefit of the doubt.
We're-
And Schwartz, I guess.
Yeah, we're in the era now where there's just so much misinformation because every headline
Fake news.
fake. We're in a total fake news era, and that just had no. What's it called?
Merit.
It had no merit. It just had. There's no evidence to it.
Yeah.
And I just and they even said cameras were down, so they didn't capture this. There's no way there would be cameras down at Tom when Lisa and Tom are talking to each other.
Right.
So I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Skeptical.
Have there been, what are any other, something about her seems to be chugging along?
Yeah, and then so Ariana and Katie weren't on this trip, which that makes sense. That Ariana would not want to go on a trip with Sandoval, but I think they have an alternative storyline that they're hiring. I think it's something about
Okay.
her. So I put in, our applications. I said I haven't worked in a restaurant since Applebee's, but but I think I could do it.
You think you could learn to be a sandwich artist?
Yeah, of course. But do you mind that I said that you and I have to be every shift together? Is that okay?
Okay. Can the shifts be only 1 hour?
Yeah. Well, I said during camera filming.
Okay.
So that's probably like 2 hour scenes.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Okay.
Well,
I like washing dishes.
Oh, okay. I'll just revise the thing I sent in, but I'll do the sandwiches. You be in the back doing dishwashing.
Okay.
Is that okay?
I don't like washing dishes at home, but when I worked at a frozen yogurt place, I like doing the dishes because we had the like industrial sprayer.
That's so
and
fun.
like it was fun.
Any accidents ever happen?
I mean, I definitely got splashed.
Yeah, that's kind of fun though. I like washing dishes at home.
You do?
Yeah.
Can you do mine?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you have any in the sink?
Yes.
Do you want to take a quick break and I'll wash your dishes?
That'd be great.
Okay. Well, do we actually need to take a break or should we wait for the...
I can wait if you can wait.
Yeah, me too.
I'm feeling strong today.
I feel so strong.
It's
So-
the heat has dried us out.
Yes.
I'm actually pretty comfortable. What about you?
I feel good.
Okay.
Well, I got this ice pack on my head and it's dripping beautiful cold water on my head
That's
and I really
great.
like it. Oh, also I wanted to ask our listeners, someone complained that my peas pop when I'm talking and I took that so to heart. 'cause
Pussy poppin'.
Someone was saying my little peas were popping and I take every criticism to heart more than anything. And so let me know if my peas are popping because we got windshields for our mics.
Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Yeah, we haven't said one P word until now, so this is a good time to... tested.
Pandora Vanderpump.
Pandora Vanderpump.
Speaking of,
good call.
did you see that we will get to RHONY, but one of the new RHONY housewives, Brynn,
Yes.
revealed that she is good, dear friends with Pandora Vanderpump, and that she was in the mix and asked to be on Vanderpump Rules, and she said at the time that she thought that was trashy and she didn't want to do it, and she revealed that she made out with Peter in 2006.
Amazing. Wow.
What?
2006, so 6 years or 7 years before Vanderpump even started filming, right?
They should do a crossover.
Oh, get what Peter goes up to Brynn in New York.
Peter to New York or her to LA.
I couldn't even imagine Peter in New York. No offense. I don't mean anything by that.
I could see it. I could see him wearing a pea coat, or like a coat.
Yes. Okay, you're right. Yeah, now. Yeah, when I picture him in a pea coat, I picture him in New York.
Maybe a fedora.
And then Brynn also said that she lived with Pandora at Lisa's house at Villa Rosa.
Oh yeah, and she said that on random days of the week there'd be rose petals on the stairs.
Yeah. So Brynn has just been floating in the Bravo ether for a while.
Yeah. Which I also was looking into because I had sort of deleted from my mind that I was like, wasn't one of the RHONY housewives of the new season fired? And so
yes.
Then I was like, I don't think it's one of these women. So then I looked into it, and the woman that was indeed fired, so she isn't on the show, which I assume means they had to refilm all of it, right?
Yes, and cut her out of a lot of scenes.
Yeah. Because the first episode is like all of them together, so that had to have been after the fact.
Yes.
Because I assume there was an original one with 6 of them or however many there are. But the woman, she got fired after the announcement, but she was also supposed to be on Real Housewives of Dallas, and that season got scrapped.
Whoa.
So she's like a cursed being.
Just flopping in every Bravo show.
Across the nation.
Wow. So that means that casting, Bravo casting, just sort of has people in their pocket that they bring out, and if they would convince them to like move for the show, I mean, that's having its Southern charm. John Pringle was like living in San Diego
forgot
or whatever.
about him.
And you did?
Pringle.
Yeah, Pringle.
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 Pandora Pringle.
Yeah. Oh. Wait, if she leaves Jason?
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
I
like
know.
Pringle.
Me too. Yeah,
he's cool.
Oh yeah, he's a great addition to the cast. He's just so normal and nice and kind of fun. But anyway, Pringle, I think, was cast. I mean, he's Shep's friend from college.
Yeah.
But I think he was living in San Diego, and he says the entire time, he's like, I'm trying to make a new job work in Charleston, right? That's Charleston. And what he's alluding to is that he was cast on the show, and he's trying to make this work. So they just keep people in their back pocket, and if they work on a show, they'll put them on there.
Yeah. Apparently, and speaking of Brynn, I guess a fight with Brynn is what brought this woman down, which is hard for me to imagine because apparently it's about, similar to what we were saying about that podcaster, it was like a Zionist conversation, which we don't need to get into. It's very complicated.
No, come on.
You know what happens when we get into geopolitics. But I'm like, Brynn is the one that brought that up?
Right.
Like, what?
Does Brynn...
I assumed it would have been... I am still learning their names. Aaron.
Yes.
Who is Israeli.
Yep.
So I thought that would have been interesting.
Yeah. I read it was a fight with Brynn. I don't want to get into the details because I barely remember them, and also I just don't want to talk about that. Did you get a sense, though, that Brynn does live in New York? I don't think we saw where she lives or that she has any attachment or family at all.
Right. She seems... I mean, I love LA and I do not subscribe to any LA stereotypes, but if she were to be anywhere, I would assume it would be here.
Me too. And I didn't get one route that points towards her New York life.
Like when she, in the beginning, when she visits, is it
Psy?
Mm-hmm. I almost said Psy.
Yeah, Psy.
She's like, Brooklyn is a vibe. Yeah. Oh my God. Brooklyn's a vibe. I'm like, yeah, bitch, we've been here.
Oh, I think Aaron, actually, they show a clip. We're getting into RHONY. Maybe we should just transition into it, right?
Sure.
We're at the end of our Brynn talk, and then it segues perfectly into RHONY. We didn't have anything else to say, right?
I don't think so.
Do we want to start with RHONY?
I think so.
Okay.
Priority.
Well, just to finish this little thought, and then we'll get into RHONY officially. Erin, in a upcoming scene, says she has no attachments to New York. She's basically a tourist.
Okay.
She must be talking potentially about Bryn.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because Aaron, a lot of them are true New Yorkers.
yes. Sai.
Yeah.
Or sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sai
She's
says-
like Brooklyn.
yeah.
She's like, I represent Brooklyn all day.
Oh, yeah. Like she's lived there her entire life. Erin seems very tied to New York.
Yep.
Uba moved from, or Jessel moved from London to New York,
Right.
it seems.
Yes.
Not recently. Who else is there?
Jenna. Jenna's lived there
Oh,
forever.
yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. So they do have a lot of tried and true New Yorkers.
Yeah.
Bryn might be the anomaly.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you want to say how you felt about it
Sure.
generally?
First, I want to say, before I even speak of this new era of RHONY, I want to say everything I say about this new era is caveated with the fact that I will never forgive Bravo for what they did to the old RHONY, ever. Old RHONY was 10 times better than this. Season 14 of RHONY with RHONY, Sonya, potentially Dorinda. Maybe they could have gotten Bethany back. Whoever. I would have even taken another season of Leah and Ebony if this was the case.
Yeah.
No matter what, that would have been a better season of television. I know it. For sure. So I liked this, RHONY. I was
Yeah.
decently okay with it. I think the casting was the best part about it.
Yeah.
The actual cast, which that's good. That's like 90% of the work.
Yeah.
But it does not at all assuage my horror at what happened. So
Yeah.
that's it. That's
yeah.
how, that's
I had
how
to.
I'm.
I had to consider it differently.
Yes.
As if it was a new city
And it really
or
should have
whatever.
been. It
Yeah.
really should have been. That would have been the best case scenario. That should have been called RHONY the Next Generation.
Yeah.
Or whatever. They could have given it
Maybe
the
they
most
still will do the legacy eventually.
Yeah, I mean they
Right now
will.
they're like, you can eat the Crappie Lake slop,
Yeah.
slop, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Have that crappy like so yeah, anyway, that
Did
caveat
you,
stands.
This is because you said they maybe could have gotten Bethany back. I didn't have the heart to listen to it, but did you see that she interviewed Jill this week?
I did.
Did you listen to it?
Not yet. I'm
Okay.
saving it for a time when well, first of all, I'm so tired of both Jill and Bethany
Yes.
want to burn bridges with Bravo every single month and then try to come back in the
Right.
universe or wiggle their or like what's that called? They want to hang the oh God, I have no clue what I'm trying to say. You know, they want to
Have
talk
their
about
cake and eat it
have
too.
their cake and eat it. They want to talk like they could potentially come back if you paid me enough money, but then they burn the Bravo bridge every single time they talk.
It's really weird, and it's giving desperate. Where
Yes.
I'm like, if you've moved on, and you're
Well,
so
no one said Jill has moved on.
well, no, but Bethany,
Yes.
you know, she's always, you know, the Bethany clause. Every time I open my TikTok app, it opens and she's talking about the Bethany clause literally
Yes.
every single day.
Yes.
She goes, it's named after me. I'm like, we know. You've told us every day of my
top
life.
5 claim to fame.
And she brought that up in regards to the strike. Somehow she worked that in. And it's like, if you're so fucking rich, so happy in, you know, Connecticut and the Hamptons with your daughter and your fiance, whatever, then why do you keep talking about the heyday
Yes.
over and over again?
Also, 80% of her podcast enterprise is Housewives related.
Totally.
Rewives and the Housewives historian or whatever, where she grades their businesses, like I was telling
Right.
you on one of our Patreons or whatever. So yeah, she's so indebted to the Housewives as part of her legacy, but she tries to pretend like she's above it completely. And then the only time, and then you know, she released the Jill Zarin reunion on the night RHONY premiered
Yeah.
to try to like overshadow it or
Yeah.
get some of the runoff from it.
Yeah, and then I guess they were talking about, I heard that Jill was saying that like they didn't have permission to film at Bobby's funeral, which there's no way.
I
in
know
hell.
exactly what happened. They already like have cleared this up multiple times. Jill said a assistant of hers, without her approval, said that Bravo could come film at Bobby's funeral. Yeah, fucking right. Jill told that assistant and then had plausible deniability to say they could film at Bobby's funeral
Yeah.
because she wanted a scene with Bethany outside. It was a powerful sad scene.
Yeah.
But there's no way Bravo would ever encroach on a funeral. Because,
No.
without
And
the
Bethany
approval-
wouldn't either.
No, without the approval of Jill. So Jill is lying. And
Yeah.
Jill's a goddamn liar. I'm sorry. I
Hi.
never liked Jill. I never liked her. That is the most iconic moment in history. One
There's
of the
been enough drama.
Alex McCord.
Yeah.
I think that is my favorite moment in
It's
Bravo
so
history.
good.
I think the best. I think
It just is.
maybe top two. I couldn't even think of a better moment. The honest reaction of Alex McCord, Ramona, and who else is there with Sonya? And Sonya's just starting out.
And Bethany.
And Bethany. They're so upset about what transpired with Kelly that they have no nerve. They have no more what's that called? Like pleasantries in them to even appease
Just
Jill for 1
silent.
second. And then Jill has the rudest entrance ever in history. And then she tried to recreate it in an Ultimate Girls Trip, and it
Oh my
fell,
God,
landed like. It honestly gave the exact same reaction that it did the first time. when
Everyone's
she
like,
did
"Oh,
it.
you are here."
Yeah, they didn't understand it. Like they didn't get her iconic moment at all. Anyway,
So good.
that
is a life highlight for us all.
yes.
Okay, sorry. So back to RHONY.
Okay, but your original question was just how did
Yes.
I?
Yes,
how do
exactly.
I give it a? I'm trying to be as objective as I can and not be sad about the old RHONY.
Yeah.
I give it like a B minus.
Okay.
Or a B.
Uh-huh.
Like wasn't great.
Yeah.
The cast is better than I expected, but there were some cringe-inducing moments about the familiarity between the cast members and the drama they tried to make seem petty, but actually really quintessential RHONY. I thought that was really lame.
Uh-huh.
So it was a bad balance, but that's probably because this is the first episode, and it could get better
Yeah.
once they have familiarity.
Yeah, I feel like the first episode is always hard because it has to do so much heavy lifting of
Yes.
introducing everyone, establishing a dynamic, maybe a feud, not quite necessary to have a feud from the start, but you have to say, where everybody lives, meet their kids,
Right.
who knows who, so I think it was pretty good considering it had to do all that work. I was more entertained than I thought I was going to be because I kind of, like most of the internet, had my arms crossed and was like,
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, you know what? The thing is, it's New York. So history aside, let's just pretend there's never been a New York Housewives before. And finally, we're getting a
Right.
Real Housewives
Good-
of New York.
good thought
That's always
experiment.
going to be the city itself and the caliber of lifestyle and whatever
Yes.
is going to be peak.
Yes.
So they have a leg up.
Just because of the nature of New York. And
Yeah.
getting a window into what
Like
New
you
York
want
City is
to
like.
know about that.
Yes. Did we get enough of that this episode?
I liked what I presume to be the restaurant Catch
Yes.
storyline, just because I thought the bleeping was funny. Do you think that was a gag, or do you think that was like a legal thing?
I think legally, I don't know. You can talk shit about anything.
Yeah.
Like, you really can. So I guess, what's that called? I think part of me is like, they wanted to bleep it just for the mystery
people
of having
talking.
us, which it did a great job.
Yeah.
It had everyone talking about what is this mysterious restaurant. Good job. But also, they were talking about it so dismissively that I do think Bravo would maybe just want to be like, hey, let's ease up on this restaurant. It's like, isn't it? Is
mean,
it
they
Tom
didn't say-
Colicchio's restaurant?
Oh, is it? I didn't look into it. I just remember. So for some reason, it popped into my head while I was watching. And then once I thought of it, when you looked at their lips, I was like, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
And I just know it from years of reading gossip in, the
Uh-huh.
mid-aughts. Like, that was, like they said,
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
that time.
Brent also does like a little pun or whatever. She goes, I wouldn't be caught dead at
Oh,
Catch.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But and then on Watch What Happens Live afterwards, Erin says to Andy, she's like, Andy, you've been there. It's not that bad. And Andy was like, it's not that bad. He was like, a lot of athletes go there.
Yes.
Like, basically, it's not cool. But I was saying this to some people where it makes sense that Brynn thinks that way because I have a feeling her entire persona is based off of where she's seen.
Yes.
Whereas anyone else who just like lives in New York and like like Jenna Lyons said on Watch What Happens Live, she was like, I would go, I don't care. Like,
right.
because
And
it's like,
the most,
it's not going to tarnish your reputation if you are established.
Right.
But if you're trying to go to specific places to build your brand, then that would be a stinker location. But if you're confident in your brand, you can go wherever you want.
Totally. Yeah, that drama made sense to me. I mean, I was fine with it. I actually would have preferred if they would have just
It was
talked about
better
that.
than the cheese storyline.
Yeah, the cheese storyline is why I would dock it maybe 2 full points, because
It didn't make sense.
It didn't make any sense.
They never got to a point where I understood what the fuck they were talking
Can I try
about.
to parse it for our
Yeah.
listeners and for you? Let me raise hell for a second. Our new catchphrase. Okay. Sai and Brynn and other people went to Aaron's house for a party. I think Bravo said, you guys have to hang out for a month before we start filming to get to know each other, and you have to have X amount of dinners and X amount of restaurant goings. and you
X
gotta
amount of cheese.
X amount of cheese-related drama. Take selfies with each other. Start a group text where
Yeah.
you all talk to each other, and then we are going to mine that for your familiarity, and we're going to mine that for drama. Anything we can get out of
Yeah.
it. So I think that was very regimented for sure.
Uh-huh.
So Sai and Brynn go over to Erin's house. She has a cheese plate out, which is a staple of charcuterie. One of the 3 things you'd put on a charcuterie board.
Charcuterie.
Cheese can't. I mean, it's essential to a charcuterie plate, right?
Can't be ignored.
Right. And then Sai, apparently, Brynn said that Sai said, why do you have this? What is that? Oh, you eat cheese? That's weird. And Sai said, I never said that.
Yeah,
I had
'cause-
cheese in my mouth and I was drinking champagne, so I never said that. But then Brynn said that Sai said that.
Right.
And then Brynn is the one spreading this rumor to Erin. And then Erin found out secondhand that Sai had said this cheese-related
So
insult.
she was mad at both of them.
She was more mad at Brynn because she
Yeah.
doesn't believe that Sai actually said it. And
Right.
Sai said she didn't say it. So
Yeah.
Brynn is saying that Sai said something that she says she didn't say.
Right.
It's
At one point, Sai says something that made a little more sense, where she implied that what she said was something like, "Is this all we're eating?" Or like, you know, when there's like snacks out,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Is there going to be more food or not?" Like,
Yeah.
she said something that gave me a little something to grab onto, where
Right.
I'm like, maybe there was a misinterpretation of her saying like, "Is this all there is?"
Yes.
Or something like that.
Right.
Because every other version, I was like, I don't understand what you're saying.
Yes.
And it doesn't make sense that there's no way to squeeze drama out of this, because I don't even understand how it's offensive, because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yes, and it never really got clearer, like you said. It sounded like the actual people involved in this dramatic moment didn't care about it. They only cared that Brynn was like spreading it, and Erin
Right.
eventually just tried to clear things up with Brynn.
Right.
But really, I guess she was more offended by them going to Casa Cipriani
Yeah.
over Catch for that big group dinner.
Yeah.
Right. And then the cheese thing was sort of like a red herring. Right, in this
Yeah.
whole drama.
Yeah.
That part was bad, and also it just, to me, reinforced that these people don't know each other very well,
Right.
even though you're trying to harp on it. And there's other little moments, too, where they try to fake, like, camaraderie between them. Like when Uba and, I think, Erin meet up. Do you remember when, like, they meet up and they talk about, like, the celery juice? Erin says
Yes.
that her son drank celery juice, and then
Yes.
Uba was like, the celery juice that your son drank and he had diarrhea all over the place? Whatever. And it was just, like, to call attention to the fact that they have hung out at least once before.
Yeah, she was like, I know that story.
I know a story that you've told me once in that group chat before, but then there's a lot of moments where, like, Jenna goes to Jessel's house for the first time, and she's never been there. She's never met his husband.
Right.
You know, so it's just, I think that they should have maybe done a little more of letting us see how they actually did become friends, because that would have been better than faking the intimacy that we see here. That
Right.
ultimately all that drama was resolved by the end of the episode, and we're basically starting from scratch anyway.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. By the time Erin sits down, Brynn to talk, by the time their asses are seated, the beef is squashed.
Yes.
There's nothing to talk about. They just go like, I didn't mean for you to think that. And then they're like, okay.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Who stood out to you from the cast? Like, who did you like? Who were the stinkers? Were there any stinkers?
Well, okay. I'm preemptively culturally interested in Jenna Lyons. Like, I already have known who she was for 10 years. I am into it. So, and to me, she's like, she's someone that if pre all of this, if I would have seen her in New York, I would have been like, oh, fuck yeah, that's such a good New York sighting. Like, she's a good pick just culturally, because she's like cool and like influential. So, and I think her personality, I'm hoping that she'll get more in the mix. I feel like she's very professional. So I don't know like how down and dirty she's going to get.
Yeah. What if Jenna had hypothetically just been added to the cast of RHONY season 14 with our previous cast members?
That would have been fun. She would have been like a Carol
exactly.
figure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when
Do you think they know each other?
Who?
I bet you do.
Jenna and Carol.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Jenna seems to like know everyone. But that would have been such an organic, good cast addition. And I would have loved to see Ramona and Jenna Lyons interact instead of this group that's curated around Jenna. Jenna would have been such an outlier, interesting outlier in the old
because she's kind of a
RHONY.
square.
Yes, I would have loved to see
She would have
that.
just been like outraged.
Luann would get jealous of her, just like she got jealous of Carol.
She'd be, it's like
Sonya would
Carol
love her.
/ Heather.
Totally.
You know,
Totally.
like.
Yeah, that is my dream. I was like, Jenna would have been so great, and it would have revived the shit out of RHONY if she was cast on the old RHONY.
Yeah, because she has some cachet, and I'm sure Ramona would have said something offensive about her being gay.
Yes. They honestly could have organically at least started to get these new casts as like friends of, and really test out. Erin Leach, she would have been good. I would like to see her. She has the Heather Thompson energy that was good.
No, I like Erin, and I like Sai.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that Uba is simply gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
But in the preview there's some drama where she
I think she
like takes Erin's sunglasses off or something like that. So maybe there's something there.
Yeah, she was okay.
She just apparently she's cousins with Chanel. Is that her name? Iman?
Oh, I don't know
from
that.
Dubai.
Oh, okay.
Who is a little bit of a showboat for me. You know, she's one of those people that they go out for dinner and she wears like a ball gown and you're like, okay, please chill.
I liked Uba okay. She didn't really have that much to do yet. She's just kind of like the silly one.
Yeah, she's just like friendly.
I was fine. I like that. I think Jessel may be the weakest link so far.
Yeah, I'm not down. And also she's the one that puked at the premiere party.
Why? She just got so drunk?
She's a publicist first of all, so don't believe anything that she says.
Damn,
but
like Hubhouse.
Exactly. The PR, her story is that she had just traveled internationally and hadn't slept in days and had like food poisoning or something like that, and so she puked all over the RHONY premiere party.
All over?
Yeah.
And he's like covered in barf.
Yeah, it's like a total barfarama. And on page 6 the details were so funny. It was like, it was pure liquid and soaked into the carpet immediately. It was like so gross.
Wait. So it wasn't in chunks laying atop the carpet?
No, they said it was pure liquid and that they had to get people around it.
Damn.
And that like she like put her hand over her mouth and she like ran up the stairs and then puked at the top of the stairs and then went to a bathroom and puked in the sink. And I'm like, dude, you should have just left.
Yeah, that's horrible. But why is it better that she just got in traveling? Like, well, I don't know. I guess because she barfed so much, it makes more sense than saying I was drunk.
I know.
And
I'm like, you're puking from exhaustion?
Do you remember when Luann got barfed on at her cabaret?
Oh my god, yeah.
Do you think it was Jessel?
Maybe. No, she's super boring, not into it.
And she's sort of taking cues from everyone else. You can tell she's sort of trying to learn how to act on this show from the other cast members.
Yeah.
Where the best case scenario is you're just naturally entertaining. Sort of like Jenna. I didn't find Jenna to be so entertaining.
Yeah.
Because I think she was like overrated. Like I thought she was like coming in and I was like, oh, I'm going to love Jenna Lyons. She was okay.
Yeah. Her
Erin
apartment was sick though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So cool. Erin, did you like when Erin was like, Jenna is so kind of kooky or no, quirky. She's the kind of girl, I don't know, she is so wild. She likes parsley and not dill. She likes green olives and not black olives. And she goes, she's just wild.
I couldn't believe what the fuck she was saying.
Yeah.
I was like, that's your example?
Yeah. Did you see, someone did that meme of that girl that is in the grocery store. She has chips on her head, and she says she's so crazy. I love her. That was exactly what Aaron was trying to give.
You crazy girl. That was insane.
Yeah.
Which also lends itself to the cheese drama, because it's like, is there something wrong with you guys? Like, you think everything is weird? I guess.
I think petty drama. Okay, so there's a lot of Bravo accounts too. I don't know if you follow them, but I follow them on Twitter.
Yeah.
Where there's like 10 Bravo accounts, and they were seriously like, "This is a masterpiece. No holds barred. Perfect.
Yeah.
I loved everything. They are fighting about cheese, and I love it. So, and they're like, this is so petty. I'm. It's giving me life. And I was like, there's a difference between petty.
That's giving payola.
What's
From
that?
Bravo payola.
Totally. And I'm not accusing that, because I want to get that BravoCon press pass bad. But I think you have to be objective to stay, so people can listen to you and continue to trust your opinion.
Yeah.
And I just think there's a difference between petty drama, like something that like Ramona and Dorinda would fight about. Like, do you remember when they were at that charity for like abused?
Oh my God. Don't get me started.
Right. And it was just like they were fighting about who could talk the most or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that was petty drama
Yeah.
and legitimate and earned from those people we know and love.
Yeah.
This petty drama was petty for its own sake and just to simulate petty drama, which was lame.
Right. Well, they just don't have any history really. So, with someone like Ramona and Dorinda, they have a dynamic that lends to that. So whenever drama starts from the get-go over something stupid, you're like, what are you even talking about? Like, there's nothing here.
Do you want to go to Casa Cipriani when we go to New York someday?
Yeah, we should. I've heard apparently it's a like a club, like a members.
But you
club.
can't take photos of other people, I think, right? Like you can't, because I think there was. This might not be true. I barely have a hold on any pop culture news, but I think like someone was like photographed there. Like I think Taylor Swift was photographed there. And you're not supposed to do that, so you like get banned if you post any photos. But then they had a selfie from Casa Cipriani, so I guess you can take a photo of yourself.
I guess maybe they snuck it. I'm going to, because I was confused at first.
Oh, you're going to New York.
I am going to New York. I'm going to a different Cipriani. I just checked while we were talking, because I was like, my sister's friend made a reservation, but I think it's called Cipriani Dolce.
But they on RHONY, they used to talk about Cipriani.
Well, there's like a boring Cipriani that's like Cipriani Wall Street. That's like an event space.
Oh, okay.
That they have like award shows there, and I think it's kind of just like a run of the mill, like not cool restaurant.
Is that what Ramona was always talking about?
I think.
Okay.
But I don't know. I didn't know that there were all these different ones. I'm out of the loop in New York City, but so I will let you know what this other one is. But I do want to note that 2 of them have kids named Rio.
Yes, good to note. Jessel, right, and
Sai.
Rio.
Yeah, Sai has London and Rio, and
Sai has London and Rio, and Jessel's from London.
That's right. Jessel has Kai and Rio.
Whoa. So something was going on in the Rio world.
Yeah, it must have charted that year. And then Jessel brings her kids into Brooklyn, and she's like, "This is your first time on the Brooklyn Bridge." And then when they go up to the apartment, she's like,
good Jessel.
"This is called a stoop."
She did? To her mom?
To the kids.
Oh, to the kids? Wow, this is just...
And I'm like, I can't deal any longer with the conversations about Brooklyn being other, because I'm like, Sex and the City had that conversation 20 years ago. Like, Brooklyn is in parts more expensive than Manhattan at this point. It's completely metropolitan.
Right.
Like,
well, yeah. I mean,
shut up.
Yeah. Well, also RHONY forged the
of
path
course
for Brooklyn. I mean, yeah. I guess it shouldn't be even remarked on anymore.
No,
right?
it's
but this felt to me contrary to the myth, where they weren't trying to shade Brooklyn in any way. They were trying to elevate Brooklyn, but I guess even commenting on it is sort of strange at this point.
Right, like that woman being like, that woman, that's how much respect I have for her. Being like, her kids are like, actually I don't know how old those kids are. What are they? 1 or 2?
I didn't even look at those kids.
They walk.
They walk.
There's that.
Yeah, right. So,
but being like, this is your first time crossing the Brooklyn Bridge. I'm just like, it's not exotic. Like,
what is Brooklyn?
Mommy, I'm scared. Where are we?
We're in Brooklyn. Yeah,
Well,
those little boys. Oh, I was gonna say a huge negative so far. No good house husbands.
Yeah.
At all. I didn't even see a spark of someone that even might be fun.
That's true.
Aaron's husband.
No,
She
he
said
was
he
kind
had-
of MIA.
She said he had a bunch of thongs in his bed when they used to make love back in the day.
Yeah.
I guess she's trying to give him a sexual, charismatic spark.
It seems like her family will be a bigger deal than her marriage.
Yes.
You know, which
Si-
I think that's actually a good sign when someone's super involved with their family. I'm like, all right, there's some hustle and bustle here. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, I liked that. That was fun when they gave that full dinner. The dad was giving a toast or whatever.
Yeah.
I liked that. That was nice. But no other remarkable house husband so far. I mean, they didn't get a lot to do. Sai's husband didn't really have a spark.
No.
Who-
He's retired, they said.
He was. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I need more details
too.
on how he's retired.
And then apparently, I think they're teasing that Jessel's husband is like out the door. Like
I need to know more. Where did he say he was going?
he goes, I forget too. Man, I watched this like 3 times. I don't remember.
It
He
was
said,
like-
I need some me time. I'm going.
It was like Thailand or something.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And she was like, "Why are you going to Thailand?" He was like, "I need some time to myself." I was like, that's giving Ralph on Atlanta when he goes to Florida and won't say why.
Yeah. So that was a drawback so far, but maybe they just haven't had time to shine.
Yeah, TBD. Also, the Jenna's visit to Jessel's apartment was try hard, and then she was so complimentary to her mom. Like, she was like, "Your mom's incredible."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "How old do you think my mother is?"
She
And
was
she's
40.
like, "My age?"
Yeah.
And then she's like, "She's 65." And I'm like, I mean, she was a good-looking woman, but like, I wasn't shocked to find out that was her age. I was like, that's 10 years younger than my mom. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lose-lose situation to be asked. I would just go way, way under to be complimentary. I would say 47, like, because it was like, what if you took a stab at it and you're like, oh, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's awful.
Yeah.
I hate being in that position.
Yeah. And then Jenna starts eating the Oreos from the jar, which it looked exactly like Khloe Kardashian always has cookies in a jar like
Really?
that.
That big?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like stacked perfectly in a ring. And I did think it was funny that she was like, wait, have those been in there for like 10 years? Because
Yeah.
I always wonder about decorative snacks.
It was a lot of cookies in there, but
Yeah.
apparently they get eaten like every 3 days.
Right.
Yeah, that was all right.
No, that scene was boring. And then what did you think about the gold, khaki, and black theme?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it. They had the hardest time with this theme.
They were so confused. I was like, you have 3 choices.
I would have been able to do that. I would have gotten the memo. Khaki, black, or metallic, gold, or something.
Yeah.
Like, it was the easiest theme in the world, and they were
They all
treating it
just
like,
wore black.
Huh? Yeah.
They all just wore black except for Uba.
They couldn't they couldn't make khaki work in any way. I was surprised by that. That seemed like shocking that they couldn't adhere to such a simple theme.
Right. I also wanted to ask, Erin said that she got married just shy of 25. And she said, but a 25-year-old New Yorker is like a 35-year-old Kentucky girl. Does that make sense to you?
So I was thinking it's the opposite.
Exactly.
I thought that you would normally keep your youth for longer in a big city because everyone else is not moving, on
Exactly.
in their life, like hitting
Yeah, it's
milestones
like you
of a traditional.
like in LA and New York, you would get married at 35 or like have a kid at 40,
Right.
whereas everywhere else it's 15 years ahead.
Yeah, I thought that, but then I guess she means experience. Like
Yeah,
you're
like,
on the
I've
subway.
seen it all.
I've seen it all. The Big Apple. I've taken a bite of the Big Apple, and I know everything now. So I think she meant wisdom. You know, but the opposite is true though about where you are in your life, milestones hitting earlier, presumably in like Kentucky or whatever, right?
Yeah. No, I thought that was made me stop for a second and think.
Do you think, I thought Erin was just on the line of being entertaining enough, or like I'm sort of interested in her life, but then also being a little performative, like she knows what works, and she's like, let me have your ear for a second. We can discuss this. Like having to leave the room already for a private chat is such a convention of Housewives.
Yeah.
And they haven't been on a Housewives show yet, so they shouldn't know these conventions. I felt like Erin seemed very well versed in the tropes.
For sure. No, she definitely she's organized. She, I think, has her head in the game.
Yes.
But I think that could be interesting because sometimes, even though they think that they're in control, I think that could turn on
Yeah.
you, you know?
I really liked Brynn.
Okay.
You didn't like her?
She just seems unhinged.
Okay. I mean, that's okay. That's fine with me. I mean, like you couldn't, like, did you think she was performatively unhinged or just legitimately unhinged?
Yeah.
I mean, unhinged.
Maybe both.
Okay. Unhinged is probably my top 10 criteria for an entertaining cast member. Unhinged. A little bit unhinged.
Yeah.
I think the perfect balance is like self-aware enough to be funny, but then unself-aware enough to still be like embarrassing and do wild stuff.
I think I saw a meme online. Someone compared her to Thomas Ravenel's girlfriend.
Ashley?
Ashley.
Oh, she's nothing like Ashley. I just watched Southern Charm. She's nothing like Ashley. Oh my God. Ashley is like a soap opera villain. Ashley
Yeah.
is like a rehearsed, like a villain in a soap opera completely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no similarity to, well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No, not to discount that person that said that. I felt like she was more like a Sonya Morgan type.
A young Sonya.
Yeah. Did you get that energy?
Yeah, I guess I maybe am biased against her seemingly being the youngest. I don't even know if that's true, but she seems the youngest.
Yeah.
And I have an aversion to young housewives. I'd say across the board. I mean, Jenna's older than you would think. What did she say? Like she's
55 or 54.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Which I guess is that's good housewife age.
Yeah.
I don't know how old the other ones are.
But like, wasn't Bethany young when she came on? Like under 40?
Yeah, but she's like an enigma.
Like you're like ageless.
She's one in a million.
She is. Yeah. I think.
And they threw her to the wolves with all these other hags.
Yeah, exactly.
And she had to fight her way out.
I don't know. I thought Brynn, I didn't really note her youthfulness. So like that wasn't a detriment to her. I see what you mean though. Like
Yeah.
when they get younger and younger, like they start to have less of the housewives.
Right. Well, just, yeah, it's like even with the whole catch thing that, I mean, maybe that's good because it'll cause conflict because she has different priorities than everyone else. Because I feel like, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah. Well, I think she could have been like purposefully doing that just for the drama, you know,
for sure.
Like, so I don't know, but I just liked her energy. I mean, I thought she was legitimately funny. I thought she had a lot of energy. She had a little bit of a performative streak, but it seemed in check. She was stirring up drama semi-organically. I mean, the cheese rumor was awful, but if she was pointed in the right direction, she could continue to like stir up drama in an organic way. And yeah, I mean, she was entertaining, I guess, to watch. So
She brought up, she caused more drama on Watch What Happens. Andy asked each of them to say what they've learned so far from being a housewife for this short amount of time. And, you know, some people say, like, be honest, or like, you know, don't share information with people you don't want to get out or whatever. And Brynn's was, don't trust Aaron.
yeah, I know.
And Aaron was like, you're uninvited from dinner tonight.
Yeah.
And I was like, are they just going to feud forever? Like,
yeah. Well, I do think they have the potential, Aaron and Brynn, to be the closest friends just based on their personality and how I think Aaron was legitimately hurt that Brynn became Sai's friend more than hers. Like,
Yeah.
So I think I sensed actual tension between those two because I
Yeah.
think that Aaron really actually likes Brynn, and Brynn is going to be the one who is going to go all over, make, you know, friends and be loyal to everyone, and that's going to offend Aaron. So I kind of like that if that actually shows up this season.
I feel like Sai is the coolest one.
Yeah, like legitimately cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I feel like if I was in the group, I'd want her to like me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, Sai was cool.
Which is why, at least when I like her because she's honest. Like when they were talking about the dinner thing, she was like, yeah, sorry, I ditched you. Like she was like, yeah, I didn't go.
Yeah.
She was like, okay.
Yeah, that was a good response. And Aaron was like, yeah, I like that Sai was just like honest with me about it. Yeah, I'll see. I didn't get a full sense of Sai's personality, so I got to, you know, wait for that. But I liked her enough. I feel neutral about her now.
Yeah.
I think she's okay.
She has like, she's both, she has new cachet as an influencer, but she has old cachet as a lifelong New Yorker.
True.
So it's kind of a good combo.
Yeah.
Also, I love that Jenna's dog is named Popeye.
I like that too. And Popeye drinks coffee.
Yeah.
That was really fun. I thought coffee was like
That's
poisonous
scary.
for dogs, but he must have a stomach that can just
I guess
completely
so.
consume. Yeah, there was a lot of good Popeye moments. He also, Uba was like eating something from the charcuterie board, and Popeye got right up in her face and wanted to eat it. I thought that was really
Yeah.
fun.
I also want to say I read an article. I feel the need to share this because in case people were thinking what I was thinking, but I don't want to. I don't even know. Okay. I read an article that said, I think it was maybe from an interview that Jenna did, but apparently she has like a genetic disorder where she has issues with her teeth and her hair. So her teeth are fake.
Oh, no.
And I couldn't tell if she meant her entire head of hair or if she just has to supplement her hair. But like apparently that's always been an issue for her, which I was wondering because she looked different than she used to look. And I didn't know if it was part of just the world in which everyone has veneers now. And so I was wondering about that. And then I read that. And then it made me feel bad about thinking about it because she has a disorder. But I just wanted to share that in case people were wondering if you've seen what she's looked like for a long time and think she looks different now. That is why.
Okay. I saw that photo of her like young at J. Crew, and I didn't think she looked much different, but I don't know her very well, so I don't know like her face or anything. So maybe, I don't know. But her teeth are probably different.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. I just assumed because, especially Housewives, like everyone has new teeth. Like I can list 20 Housewives that got new teeth. So I just wondered if it was
Lisa,
Kyle.
Kyle got new teeth?
Hell yeah. She looks completely different.
Who else got new teeth?
Um,
Did Kim Richards get new teeth? I guess we wouldn't know.
Probably. Kim Zolciak probably did.
Oh, yeah.
Dorinda, Teresa.
Oh, right.
House husbands.
And they're called veneers.
Yeah.
Do they like wear your teeth down to nubs and then
So-
put caps on them?
Yes, but there's different versions. There's versions where they can just, for the listeners at home, Jimmy is opening the door with our cat in tow because she just had a vet appointment, and here she comes. Say, hi,
Oh.
Martha.
Hey, Martha.
She's mad.
She's mad. Hey, Martha.
Jimmy is letting her out of the bag as we speak. But yeah, so there's versions where they can saw your teeth down into tiny little nubs, and then the veneers are like caps that go onto them, in which case you'll never have normal teeth again because underneath you have little demon teeth.
That's awful.
So it's very funny to think that there are a lot of celebrities that if you x-ray visioned, they have little tiny teeth that look like
So Lisa just-
Christopher Walken in Sleepy Hollow.
Oh my gosh. So Lisa just has little dagger teeth.
But there's different versions that are more like fronts, because I've looked into this because I'm like, how is that what everyone is doing?
No, I know.
But there's
Sawing down
less
their teeth.
invasive versions now where they basically will saw down maybe like the border of your tooth or something like that, and like caps go like onto like the front. So it depends on what you need. Like some people have to get like entirely new teeth. But I think some people just get like more what's the word I'm looking for? Like
Facade.
yeah, like not like just fronts or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't know. There's a TikTok of I think she's an orthodontist, and she looks at celebrity photos from years ago and today and tries to determine whether or not they have veneers.
Wow.
And she goes through, and then you really start to notice people, because I like real teeth.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Like, I
Yes.
think we've gone way too far on thinking that teeth are flawed. Like, I understand if you have messed up teeth and you can finally afford to fix them, that you would want to do that.
Right.
But now we just assume that any teeth with any variation whatsoever are bad.
Right. Because sometimes teeth are very characteristic in a good way.
Yeah. Like, you know who has great teeth?
Who?
Ariana.
Oh, yeah.
They're kind of like round.
I'm trying to imagine her teeth. Let me imagine. What are they like? Round?
Like, they're kind of like, there's a word for it on that TikTok that's made me notice teeth shapes. But she talks about people's like canine, or whether some are like distended, or, just, there's character in teeth.
Yes.
And some people have naturally nice teeth and they'll still just get veneers because they want them to look just like a straight white panel.
Right.
And I hate it.
Yeah.
I think we're all going to regret it. It's going to be like the way we're all going to regret open plan kitchens. I think there will come a time when people are going to be putting walls back up.
I think you're right. I mean, all trends die, and you just
Yeah.
got to go with what you honestly think is right and ignore all trends.
Yeah.
You know, because all trends just in 10 years they're not trending anymore, and then you're stuck with veneers, open floor plans. I just hope that nothing happens to veneer technology to where they all start to dissolve, and then all these celebrities are left with just little dagger teeth, right?
In the water wars, all the celebs are just going to be crawling around with little fangs.
I hope that doesn't happen for their sake.
Also, I guess this is a trope. I don't watch Love Island, but people that do know that apparently a lot of Love Island people have veneers and they all get them in Turkey.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. People also men get hair transplants in
Exactly.
Turkey. Apparently, it's the hair transplant capital of the world.
Have you seen that photo of it's a flight from Turkey and every man on the entire plane has bandages on their head?
It's really interesting. Yes.
Because apparently I've looked into this. I haven't looked into it, but I've seen TikToks where those clinics there, it's so cheap to do it there that it's cheaper to do that there, including the flight and the hotel and everything, which the clinic pays for.
Whoa, it's
like
like
they basically
all-inclusive.
fly you out
Yeah.
to do it there, and it'll be like $2,000, and if you did it here, it'd be like 12 grand.
Yeah,
or
when I
whatever.
went, it was awesome. I mean, they give you absolutely everything. They asked if I wanted a mohawk and what color I wanted. And I got to fly back with bandages on my head. And then within 6 months, I had a big, gigantic mohawk, which if you can watch on YouTube right now, if you subscribe, you can see my mohawk from my trip.
Maybe I should go to Turkey and get a bunch of surgery with our Patreon money.
What kind
And I'll come out looking like Darcy and Stacy.
What would be the one surgery if you could have one?
I mean, I have a real answer.
Okay, all right.
This is a joke segment, but if you really want to know, DM me and I'll tell you my entire surgery goals.
I think if you don't have to say. I think I would be.
You're like, I think you need.
No, yeah. If you permit me to tell you what you need, no. I was gonna say I probably would maybe do something teeth related, not
You would.
veneers. But yeah, I don't. We shouldn't talk about it. But that's probably the one thing I would do in Turkey.
Okay. I would like to get my teeth whitened, but it's
Yeah.
expensive.
I use this Optic White Colgate.
Do you find that it
toothpaste.
works?
This is please sponsor me right now and us Turtle Time. But I actually have noticed a little bit of a white difference.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I should do something like that. I
I don't
haven't
know.
tried at home
But
options.
don't swallow that toothpaste.
Oh.
It's the one toothpaste you're not supposed to swallow after brushing your
Uh-oh.
teeth.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. If you're used to toothpaste that you can just completely swallow, this one you spit out completely. Rinse your mouth and you spit
Okay.
it out. Okay.
Good to know.
Optic White, the toothpaste that you spit out after use.
That's Crest.
Crest,
Okay.
one of the best. I think it's Colgate actually. You know,
Which is
Crest
it?
and Colgate have the biggest rivalry in toothpaste history. Have you heard
We
about
should
that?
make a movie about that.
The Crest Colgate Wars. They're awful. One last thing before we end our RHONY conversation, because we were talking about RHONY.
Yeah.
I want to say the end of the episode has the hallmarks of a flop era. It could go in
Yeah.
two directions. This cast is good. If they find organic drama, I do think they can find their way, and this could be good. But the end of the episode at Jenna's apartment has two tropes that I absolutely hate.
Yeah.
One is I hate the dinner games, Truth
Yeah.
or Dare, or any Q&A, any question. Lisa Rinna, I think, popularized that, where anytime they sit down at dinner, she's like, let's play Truth or Dare.
What's your favorite position?
Yeah.
It's always like
it's al-
immediately disgusting.
It's always either to make the conversation about sex, to make it inherently interesting, or to learn some like gossip about someone, or to reopen an old fight. I think that those fights need to happen organically, so I hated this episode just had a literal like game they play where they answer questions.
Icebreakers.
And then also it was a flop era completely when Bryn and Aaron go into the back room and then
Yeah.
they put on Jenna's clothes.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to be all silly and fun or whatever, but then they grab each other and they stick. You remember
Yeah.
the lace and the,
Yeah.
what is it, sequins?
Sequins.
And then Jenna just has to watch as these two people she barely knows just rip apart her.
I feel like she was super pissed.
She was so pissed and she's just smiling. And then they broke her chair.
Yeah.
I should probably call production after that and said, hey, I know we're filming a show, but they literally broke my chair and ruined a sequin shirt from
Yeah,
Valentino.
she did say it. Yeah, Valentino. I will say, though, on the chair front, if you really looked at what was happening, it was just a pillow on top of a bottomless chair.
So
So,
they just
really,
fell.
she just fell through.
Okay.
Because I was, if they actually broke that chair, which I assume, like they said, was like an extremely expensive chair, that would have been outrageous and insane. But it looked like it was low-key a broken chair that was decorative.
Okay, so I'll give them that. They didn't actually break Jenna's chair, but I didn't like the silly moment where they're trying to be silly. And
Yeah,
they
it was
come
a
out in
little
their
bit like,
clothes.
who do you think you are?
Yes, and then they're ruining her clothes, and they're stuck together, and then the episode is just ending with Jenna just seething at them doing this kind of embarrassing thing. They end on a flop moment.
Just eating fondue.
Yeah, she's just watching them, and I thought that was, not the best representation of what I want to see from RHONY. I hope they can come away from that type of content.
For sure. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I'm curious of what kind of events, what season, what time of year is it here? Halloween, right? Because there's like decorations, I think, at the beginning. Or did I make that up?
You're probably
I might be
right.
mixing it up with And Just Like That.
No,
it's Halloween on And Just
I'm
Like
watching
That.
Southern Charm, and they're approaching Halloween. So I'm like, wait, I don't know what
They said it was hot and raining.
Oh, okay, all right.
So
Maybe they're approaching Halloween. So you think are you saying maybe the holidays will pick things up?
yeah, maybe some fun costumes.
I love
costume
seeing,
party.
I love seeing Christmas in Housewives.
Okay.
I think Atlanta has Christmas. Yeah, because they have a lot of Christmas parties. Because remember when Kenya dresses up like the Grinch?
Yeah.
I love that
It's
so much.
Thanksgiving on Atlanta right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they have their filming schedule always has Christmas in it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just did write down that back to that woman, Lizzie, that was fired.
Yes.
I just wanted to mention really quick that one of the reasons that she is canceled is because she posted offensive stuff about the Hadid sisters, who are half Palestinian. But I just had to say that since they are, in fact, the daughters of Muhammad Hadid.
Right. Yes. What did she say about them? Just some geopolitical offensive things. Damn. Wow. Okay.
So that could be, it's over. She's never to be seen again. But that combines Yolanda, Muhammad,
right,
RHONY.
and then Emily on Real Housewives of Orange County was talking about the Hadid sisters when she's talking about Annabelle's career.
Yes.
It's interesting. Yeah, they're like the most referenced people, in the Bravo
They're
universe.
huge.
And you got to see their whole start
Yeah.
on Beverly Hills, which is very interesting.
I remember Yolanda makes Gigi only eat lemons.
Well, also she says, when you get really hungry, you just put one almond in your mouth and you suck it and then you just spit it out. Do you remember?
I remember she did that guest campaign that was on the show. And I remember being at the mall at that time and being like, that's Yolanda Hadid's daughter. She got the guest campaign.
Right, 'cause is that the one they show where Yolanda goes and
When
she's
she's
sort of being a total
on the sand dunes, jumping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so just I guess high level, what do you think about RHONY for the future? What do you think this can become a pivotal Housewives franchise based off this cast and what you saw here?
I think it could be good. I don't know. It's almost an existential question because it's hard for me to jump on board to the new ones. Like Salt Lake, I feel like I still have a bias against.
Me too.
Dubai, I never could get on board with. So I don't know. It's going to have some special magic, but I think if they were wise, they would maybe do something where it mixes with the original women.
Yes.
And then maybe the legacy could spin off from it.
Well,
or
the
something.
the ratings were bad.
They were.
Yeah, it was just over 500,000 people
really?
were watching it. I'm sorry. Maybe I have that number wrong, but it was low for RHONY ratings. Season 13, episode 1, the premiere of last season, got almost double the ratings. So this wasn't a complete success, but also who knows what streaming has done to numbers or whatever. Crappie Lake still has worse ratings than...
Yeah, but that costs $1 to make.
Right, which they don't care about. So I don't know. I'm sad about, the RHONY we lost, but maybe this could potentially be good. I think the one saving grace is that for the most part, the cast members are good, decent.
Personally, better than I thought.
Better than I thought as well.
Yeah. Also, I'm confused. Is Crappie Lake a Bravo show or a Peacock show?
It's on Bravo.
It is.
I mean, I think it's Bravo, because it's not like they're not even doing the thing where it just airs on Peacock, like Ultimate Girls Trip season 3, and then it comes to Bravo.
Right.
This is airing simultaneously on Bravo and
the lines
Peacock.
are becoming very blurred.
I know. I mean, it's kind of a great strategy. You could start something on Peacock. I think isn't Miami on Peacock? But then it got so good.
That's what I'm also confused about.
No, I think it's great. It's like you can have a testing ground on Peacock. If the views are wild and people love it, they can just port it over to Bravo. And
Do you watch Miami?
No, not yet.
Did it just start again?
I thought that they had like 2 seasons and they canceled it and then they brought it back.
But did the new season just start?
I'm not sure.
Because it was on right after one of these. I'm so confused because I watched 7 franchises this week, but I think Miami is back on. And I didn't realize that one of them is married to that tennis player. Is her name Martina Navratilova? Is that a person?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't watch Real Housewives of Miami. I will someday when you and I want to talk about it, but I haven't started that journey at all.
Hold on. Let me make sure because people are going to yell at me. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Martina Navratilova and wife from Real Housewives of Miami, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So that's interesting. That's a little bit of it brought interest
Do
to
you
me.
watch Miami?
I do not. I haven't watched the new ones. I watched it when it was on originally, and everyone keeps saying it's low-key the best.
Yeah, I know.
So
but I don't know who to believe anymore.
I
mean,
know.
those same people said that RHONY season 14 was the best thing they've ever seen, and they're so glad Ramona and Dorinda were kicked to the curb.
I know. I do like that it is a lot of the same women as it was originally.
Yeah,
so
that's
there's like a
nice.
through line for me to jump onto.
But I'll tell you, UGT season 3, I think the 2 most popular in Miami, I did not care for them.
Marisol and Alexia.
I did not derive any pleasure from watching them. I mean, that might have just been worst case scenario to be introduced to them, but they were not fun.
You haven't seen the original either?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, we'll see. I feel like I'm one bout of COVID, knock on wood, away from watching all the new Miami. I need a reason. But yeah.
Cool. Okay, could be good. All right, well let's do a full turtle piss. Right? Just maybe take a quick break. We're at 1 hour and 30.
And then we're gonna do what? Crappie Lake, Atlanta, Orange County, something like that.
Yeah.
Quick run through.
I mean, none of them. Crappie Lake is giving me joy, but it's not very.
It's 21 minutes.
Doesn't need to be talked about in any way except to say I like that.
We could do a full step-by-step review, and it would take us less than 21 minutes.
Seriously, yeah. I think last week we probably talked about it longer than the actual run of the episode. Anyway, so let's take a break, and then we're gonna breeze through Atlanta, OC, Crappie Lake, and then end this episode. But stay with us. We're gonna go to the bathroom.
Yes. And we're back.
We are back. I feel 100% better.
I feel good.
You did? Good.
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah. I put a little ice pack. We can hand it out back and forth.
Oh. I love this thing is a brick. Do you put this with water in it?
It always has water in it.
So the water is in here.
It's it's one of those blue ice Rubbermaid packs that you put in a cooler.
There are so many fun moments to watch on YouTube. If you subscribe, you get to see us holding this big, gigantic blue brick of ice, and then my ice thing is off my head. But it was really nice and fun.
We're not anywhere near as hot as RHONY and Sonya in Crappie Lake.
No, every time. Oh, good transition. Every time they show the weather in Crappie Lake, it's 93 degrees Fahrenheit and 90% humidity.
Horrible.
Right?
Yeah.
They're hot as hell there.
So hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think about this week? Gone Muddin'.
Okay. So I love it. I really, truly love it. All 21 minutes. Each minute of it, I feel RHONY and Sonya are capable of making it entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, for example, even when the public works director, Craig, is calling them on Sonia's phone, and he's like, I'd like to speak to you two, please. And then Sonia's like, Luann, please stop talking. I'm trying to listen to Craig. And then Craig starts talking, and he has to start his conversation 3 times because Luann keeps talking. And that's just them on an off moment where they're just trying to have a phone call.
Yeah.
And it's just inherently entertaining.
Yeah.
So that's what I think Crappie Lake brings.
Yeah.
Just more of
Utter
Sonya and
chaos. Yeah.
Yes.
In the beginning, basically, Luann comes to visit Sonya in her room, and she's super stoked because she got her pipes cleaned by Richard.
She said Richard had sex with her like 4 times.
Again and again and again.
Over and over, and he left a quarter for her each time. There was 4 quarters at the end of the sex with, what was his name, Billy?
Billy Richard.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine that hotel room after?
Oh, God.
It was in complete disarray. You saw it?
You know it smelled crazy in there.
You absolutely know when Billy Richard and Sonya get done making love, it makes your hotel room smell different.
And he left her a card that said Richard Services, LLC.
Yeah, that was fun. And then Luann said, well, Sonya, you certainly got serviced by Richard. And then Luann goes, I want to get laid so bad. You remember?
And then she starts humping her.
Yeah, Sonya first starts humping Luann, which was awesome. Like, Sonya's still, I guess, horny, or she's recreating what Billy did to her.
Yeah.
And then Luann goes, it's my turn. She turns her over and she starts humping the shit out of Sonya. And that's in the first 2 minutes.
I mean, that's what they have in common is that they're always going to try and get laid.
Yeah, their horny levels. I mean, Sonya just got completely, her sex levels were, or whatever, you know, her horniness is probably abated a little bit. Luann is still horny as hell.
Totally.
Did you, I didn't ask generally though, did you enjoy this episode?
I did. I
Okay.
did.
With reservations?
No, I'm fully on board.
Okay, good. Do you like it more now as it's picking up steam?
I think so, because now you have your reoccurring characters. So when they visit the mayor, you're like, oh, it's the mayor.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I love the mayor. He's so great.
Did you like that they were preparing to plan what would normally be called a happy hour, but they are calling it Crappie hour?
Yes, I was trying to figure out how they came to that conclusion to call it that, but then when you think about the title, right?
Crappie Lake.
And what are they going to do? They're going to put a bunch of couches and tables in that like park area,
guess.
and they're going to all have a hot as hell happy hour.
Yeah, with twinkle lights. Luann said that she wants to make it very Saint-Tropez.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited for that thread to get picked up because I do want to see all of the townspeople get invited to this classy crappy hour. That's going to be kind of fun.
Yeah.
They sort of talked about that, and then they didn't make any what's that called? Any steps towards building it yet this episode. Did you see that they said that they're going to be there for 5 weeks? That's wild.
Yeah.
5 weeks in Benton. Like, that's a long time.
That is a long time.
That's not just like 2 weeks. They're in and they're out. They barely even got to know the town. 5 weeks. You're there.
Do we know exactly when this was?
Last summer.
Last summer.
It had to be last summer because it's hot as hell.
Yeah.
They also say Christmas in, I think they're having a Christmas in July. So it's, peak summer of last year, I believe.
Yeah. This is like you said, when Craig calls and he can't get a word in edgewise, and Luann says he's like I'm down at the other park if you guys want to come right now, and Luann's like, Craig sounds sexy, maybe we'll build more than a park.
Yeah,
I
like that.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I was thinking she wants to have sex with him potentially. Do you think when you saw Craig, do you think Luann would be interested in having sex with him?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, Sonya, when Luann said that, said, we're always optimistic.
Yeah. And then they go to that park and they're like, how can we revamp this thing? First, you got to cut some of those trees down because like some of the branches could fall on the kid's head. And then they were like, Craig, we're doing a talent show. Do you have any talent? And he was like, well, no, I don't really, but I am a rodeo clown. I was like, God damn, you have an amazing
Don't
talent.
keep that from us.
Like, a rodeo clown is someone who's like riding around on a or they're a bullfighter.
Taunting a bull.
Yeah, but are they like dressed up as a clown at all?
I think they usually do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then he was gored by a bull.
Oh my God. I was like, is that like, do you have antibiotics? Like, it looked bad.
It looked like...
It was like his rib.
You don't watch Game of Thrones, but it looked like grayscale, where a little piece of it would start to spread all over your body, and then you become sort of this figure made out of stone.
Oh, shit.
That happens in Game of Thrones.
Sounds right up my alley. But yeah, they're super horny that he's a rodeo clown. And then Sonya does a somersault
Yes.
and smears shit all over her entire body.
Yeah, she goes down to do an unnecessary somersault, I think to show off, what, talents?
Her fitness.
Yeah, her fitness or whatever. And yeah, there's just dog shit all over this park. I mean, they showed shots of that park, and it was basically being used as like a dog poop zone.
She tries to get in their shiny new truck, and she's like, oh, there's shit everywhere.
Yeah, and then it stinks. Luann's like, what is that? It's all over her clothes. And then they pull over immediately, covered in shit. They go to a lemonade stand, which is conveniently, I thought, having
Yes.
a very upscale lemonade stand, wouldn't you
Totally,
say?
yeah.
I mean, very nice. With
Yeah.
a juicer. The
Yeah.
kids were all like wearing like little, were they wearing suits?
I don't remember suits, but I could see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, in my day, it was all about the country crock,
What?
the powder lemonade.
Back in your day, lemonade stands
Yeah.
were all dedicated to country crock.
Yeah.
Not
fresh.
right. And these kids were juicing lemons.
Yeah.
And then Luann goes, let's help out these kids. And she squeals her tires, right?
Yeah.
And they get there, and she goes, I am so horny. That's what I wrote down. I'm so horny, but I'll take a break, and I'll help these kids sell lemonade,
She's
right?
dressed like the farmer's daughter.
What does that mean?
You know that like trope of the hot farmer's daughter? She was wearing like Daisy Dukes and like a flannel tied up with high heels.
Oh, so like if you were driving past a farm and you saw the farmer's daughter and she's milking a cow and she's
Yeah,
dressed
she had
in
like freckles and pigtails.
oh, right. And she's wearing high-rise shorts and you said, what, a flannel
Yeah.
sort of tied up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Calm down.
So then Luann says sex sells at this lemonade stand,
Yeah.
right?
She goes, park in the handicap. Who cares?
She did?
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, yeah. She was racing to help out this lemonade stand. And then this person comes over who runs like a kind of a nice, tea shop, was it?
Yeah, like a cafe.
Yeah. And she goes, I would love you to come to my royal tea event.
That's
but
a
we
pun.
we didn't see that.
No.
But it's like, this is setting the groundwork for what else is going to happen.
This woman is giving borderline like rockabilly.
Did
you
you
know?
think so? Yeah.
She
So
had
wait.
like red lipstick and a 50s kind of dress.
Yeah,
it
like
seems like her
Pleasantville?
vibe. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if you,
Dude, Luann and Sonya are there to bring Crappie Lake into color.
wait,
They're making the whole town horny.
I was wondering why everything was black and white except Sonya and Luann. But then when that woman came out, her lipstick was red, the color red. So are they
Sonya's
gradually?
making all the trees light on fire.
So they're, wait, that's why they're doing that? So they're gradually bringing color to the town?
Yeah.
So this town is in the 1950s.
Crappieville.
No wonder I love this show so much because I like Pleasantville.
It's good.
What's that boy's name who's in it?
Toby Maguire.
Yeah, that's a rare Tobey Maguire performance where you don't see Tobey Maguire very much. I think he's bad on set.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he's a monster.
Well, he got that demon role in Babylon.
Right. I think Damien Chazelle was playing on the rumors that he is an absolute nightmare.
All right. Okay. I bet Sonya and Luann would love to party with him and Leo.
Are you talking about them potentially joining the Pussy Posse?
I think they'd be good female members.
Do you think Leo still runs that thing?
Yeah.
I I don't like the idea of it, but I can't believe they actually referred to themselves as that. Or do you think that was a colloquial
No,
term?
I think they do. Also, I heard that the only female member historically was Sarah Gilbert from Roseanne.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's awesome. That's just like the Rat Pack. They only had one female member, but I forget what her name was.
Oh, wow. Was
kinda
it
nice.
Shirley MacLaine?
No, it
I
wasn't.
wish.
That would be so Shirley MacLaine. That would be so fun. I forget what her name was, but she was sort of the den mother of the Rat Pack.
Okay.
If you know who the den mother of the Rat Pack was, please write it on YouTube.
Please comment now. Jimmy, we were listening to a book about the Manson murders that
wow.
came out recently, and Terry Melcher and Dennis Wilson. Terry Melcher is Doris Day's son.
Okay.
They had a group. Can you guess what they were called? It was like Pussy Posse, but it had a little more.
Wait, let me guess. What were the last names? Terry Melcher and
Dennis Wilson from the Beach Boys.
Melcher and Wilson. And does it have something vulgar in it?
Kind of.
I want to guess Melcher and Wilson, and it's just them two in the group with
I
Manson?
think there were other ones, but I don't think Manson was part of it, but they like hung out with him.
You think Manson sort of just dipped into these posses, like the Pussy Posse and the Melcher Posse? Okay, tell me what it was, because I can't even guess.
The Golden Penetrators.
Wait, I would have never in a million years guessed that. They were the Golden Penetrators?
Yeah.
Because what, they had sex so often?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Doris Day's son.
Doris Day's son. Oh, she's not still with us, is she?
No,
She
I don't
must be-
think so.
I mean, I hate this phrase, but she must be rolling in her goddamn grave to hear that her wonderful son, Terry Melcher, is part of the Golden Penetrators. That's what they call themselves?
Yeah.
That's not even easy to say.
Right. And then he went on to date Candice Bergen.
Candice Bergen, who is, I know that person. What was
Murphy
she?
Brown.
Oh, Murphy Brown. Of course. Was he part of the Golden Penetrators when they started dating?
I'm not sure on the timeline. Maybe she whipped him into shape.
She said, absolutely not Terry Melcher.
Because they were almost on the Manson murder list.
They were?
Yeah.
Who? Melcher.
Melcher and Bergen.
Oh, and not Wilson, right? Wilson was kind of affiliated with the Mansons a little bit.
Well, it was his house.
Oh, right, 'cause-
Cielo Drive used to be his house.
Right,
So
'cause-
he was looking for him and then discovered
That Roman
other people
Polanski
there.
and Sharon
Yeah.
Tate lived there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Who wrote
the
that?
anniversary's coming up.
Who wrote that
August
book? If you
6th.
don't, oh my God,
That's a good question. I forget what it's called.
is it good?
It is good. It's kind of about. I need Jimmy to do the full review because I only listened to part of it when we were on a road trip. But it's about there's like CIA conspiracies about Manson.
They were trying to end the hippie movement.
It was like they were using possibly Manson as an agent of chaos.
Does this book presuppose that?
Yeah.
It's like a conspiracy
Yeah.
theory. Whoa!
But it was
Okay.
like a bestseller. We're not out here being QAnon.
Okay. Well,
I'll
okay.
Google it for you.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, what were we talking about? We were talking about the Pussy Posse, obviously.
Lemonade
which
stand.
I'm not. I was asked to join the
Okay.
Pussy Posse, like I told you off mic, but I just didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just wasn't for me, and also they're New York based, and I was in LA.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Would
Yeah.
you have joined?
I bet they do have a lot of fun.
Could they change their name and be like the Fun Boys, or the Bar Boys, Nightlife guys?
We love the nightlife. We love to boogie, boys.
The Boogie Boys is kind of fun.
Boogie boys.
Let's. The Pussy Posse gets such a weird rap because that name is just sort of vulgar.
Yeah.
If we could rebrand it as the Boogie Boys or something a little more fun, I would join. It's
Yeah.
Leo. What's the other guy's name from
Tobey
Pleasantville?
Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. Jonah
Kev-
Hill, I think, was a
really?
late
honorary member.
honorary
Kevin
member.
Connolly.
Yeah, I heard the entry fee or whatever is you have to have sex with 3 different people, within 6 months.
That's all.
That's a lot. 3. You have to be single and have sex with 3 different people within 6 months.
Okay. Yeah.
So so Leo did that.
that's wild.
Jonah Hill did that. Tobey Maguire did that, and then whoever.
They should let Jackson.
Why? Because he had sex with 7 people in 2
people
weeks.
in 2 weeks.
They might be like, dude.
That's too much.
They might be like, you
They're
can't.
like, bro, that's disrespectful.
Dude, he's in the Golden Penetrators.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, anyways, the lemonade stand earned $285.
They ripped it up.
Yeah.
People were going honk honk when Luann was out.
That woman tried to run her over. She was like, I'm trying to leave. And Luann was like, you want my autograph?
Oh, that's so sweet. What did Luann's sign say? Did you see? Fresh, cold lemonade.
I actually don't know.
I think, okay. Yeah, I was going to say it said something else, but it didn't. I saw during this time, right after the lemonade stand, when they're talking about how they're going to go mudding with Billy or whatever, Sonya dropped a huge, maybe I'm skipping ahead, but I just wrote it down as a trivia fact, so it doesn't really matter, but Sonya dated Richard Lewis. I didn't remember that.
Yeah. No, and she describes him as a huge fucking star, which I essentially only know him from Curb.
Yeah, me
and
too.
maybe if you lived in New York City in the 80s, he was a big comedy star in New York.
He was huge in the 80s.
Do you believe that?
Did they date it?
That he was as huge of a star as she said.
So we would have to be New York '80s, like Andrew Dice Clay era, and
Yeah.
probably he was like hot in the New York scene because he
Yeah.
does seem like he had an era, but I think it was very brief, and he never translated to movies or television. So I think her dating him is like a get, and obviously she would reference that, and that's fun. But I don't think Richard Lewis ever had a huge era.
Right.
The friendship between him and Larry David is one of the most beguiling things about Curb Your Enthusiasm, because to me Richard Lewis isn't very funny at all. He's not
But
good
their
on that
dynamic it builds on itself. That
Yeah.
he's just one of the characters where you're like, there he is again.
Yeah, but he's my least favorite Curb character just because he's just, I don't know. He's just, I mean, I guess he plays sort of a desperate, craven guy.
Has he been on WTF? I bet he has.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
sure.
dig up that.
Yeah, you
Maybe
should.
see if he brings up Sonya Morgan.
He's so like, he all of his Instagrams are just like, I can't be on Curb this season. But I wish I could be on it so bad. I love Larry so bad. He's so indebted to Curb now for all of his fandom.
I just love that it feels like that memory came out of nowhere for her, where she's like, I haven't been in a stretched limo
Yeah.
since I dated Richard Lewis. I was like, what?
Yeah, that was. I mean, of all people, Richard Lewis.
That was perfect.
Yeah. So
Didn't she say before that she dated Eric Clapton?
I think so.
Right?
I really do want to see the list of the most famous Sonya, even if it was just sexual encounters.
Yeah.
I just want. I bet her hit list is strong.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Well,
I mean,
she
she's-
claimed John, and everyone was giving her shit for it.
John.
JFK Jr. Or she more said that she like partied with him.
You don't think that?
And
they
then
might have just-
Dorinda was like, he's dead.
Oh, you can't say you had sex with the dead, right?
Well, I think they more thought she was like full of shit.
Oh, Jen Fessler made that mistake too, saying that she had sex with Tony Soprano.
Yeah, but that was awesome.
That was so cool. Jen Fessler, please tell us more stories like that. Okay, so I preempted this, but Billy picks them up to go mudding in a limo.
They go to Diesel's Mud Ranch.
Right. And it doesn't have any drinks in it. It only has Capri Suns. You saw
Yeah,
that?
it was like used Capri Sun.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
She was like, there's no accoutrement in
Yes.
this limo.
So Billy kind of flopped.
Yeah. But that other guy, Jared, was kind of hot.
I know. Why didn't Luann give any flirty vibes to him? You think he was just married and they didn't like keep it on camera? Or no, he said
He said he was
single.
single.
I would have thought Luann would. That's like perfect.
And he had a dog. He owned the mud ranch.
I really thought that would be Luann's type. Like,
I
you
know.
Just a,
He was like actually good looking.
Yeah.
And then they put her on that crazy elevator up to the door.
yeah.
She seemed scared.
I didn't like that because he didn't warn her.
I
He
know,
just
she was
started,
like, "Oh!"
He just started the hydraulic and she goes, you got to warn me. And she
Yeah.
really had to hold him. Like, it was a far drop. I
Yeah.
mean, he was used to that scenario, but Luann isn't. Oh,
Right.
did you think, like me, that those trucks were so big? I haven't seen a monster truck in so long.
Yeah.
I just don't ever watch monster truck racing.
Yeah.
That was like so high up. Like,
Yeah.
what-
It did look fun though. I don't think I'd be afraid.
No, I wouldn't be afraid. Maybe just the hydraulic getting up there. But if you're all surrounded in mud
Yeah.
and you just fall out and fall in the mud, I thought that was kind of fun.
I went to a monster truck rally this year.
This
Was
year?
it this year?
Oh,
I don't
so
know what
when
time
I'm
is
saying I
anymore.
haven't seen monster trucks in forever, you've...
I've seen it. Also, I'm watching Righteous Gemstones, and there's a monster truck storyline.
Season 3 of Righteous Gemstones.
Is that how many seasons
Yeah.
there are?
I'm on
Yes.
season 2 still.
Okay. Yeah, the
Is
new
it-
season.
Is it doing good?
It's good.
Did you hear that Danny McBride,
Brown.
Danny Brown, the rapper? Did you hear that Danny McBride loves Vanderpump more than life?
Oh my
itself?
gosh, I was listening to him on Smart List,
Yeah.
the podcast, and he jokingly was calling it Vanderpumps.
Yeah.
He
But
was like,
he's-
there's a lot going on Vanderpumps.
But you know he lives in Charleston?
Yeah.
So
He
and they
should be
film-
watching Southern Charm.
Right. They film Righteous Gemstones in Charleston. So do you think he's hanging out with Craig and Shep?
I bet he's met those people, right?
I mean, there's only like, it seems like there's only 30 bars in Charleston. Like, he must have, Craig and Danny McBride must
Right.
hang
He's like
out.
the only celebrity down there.
I really want to go to Charleston now.
I know.
I'm in my full Southern Charm era.
I know.
I'll hit up the beer
Ba-ba-doo.
works. Yeah. Ba-ba-doo. I'll see Danny McBride and Craig in one outing. That would be insane.
Yeah. He was saying how he doesn't really go out after hours because like shit goes down when drunk men see Danny McBride
Oh.
at the bar.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Oh, they probably want to do multiple shots with him or prove they can drink more. Or, oh, damn. That his reputation, that's an ill effect of his persona for sure.
Totally. Which in reality, he's a family man.
Yeah.
He's actually in Sicily with Walton Goggins.
Oh yeah,
They're
I
in
saw
Italy
a photo,
together.
I saw a photo of them. Walter Goggins and him. Did you watch Vice Principals?
You know what? I think I started it and
Okay.
then didn't finish it.
Oh, it rips too.
But I want to go back and redo Eastbound Down. I want to revisit the whole shenanigans.
Danny McBride's like road to fame. Not to talk to him about him, but like he was discovered in that like film that him and Jody Hill did, like
Foot Fist Way.
Yeah, Foot Fist Way. And then like it was just like people were like, this is a star. Like
Yeah.
he's just so funny. He like the universe couldn't hold him back.
Yeah.
Once Will Ferrell and Patton Oswalt and whoever like watched that movie, they were just like, this man needs to be in every single movie. And
Yeah.
he's just only risen in esteem since
Yeah.
then. It's amazing.
No, yeah. Sometimes I think the show's really good. Like this new season, they're adding backstory that has emotional value. So it's sometimes actually, besides being funny, like good dramatically.
Yeah, good.
But sometimes I think it's really funny, but we joke that sometimes the humor borders on like freaking epic, like
Yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite humor,
Totally.
which is fine.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, watch it.
I agree. They do toe the line between stuff like that sometimes, or like maybe when they're improvising, it goes to that point.
Like
They leave a lot.
rollerblading is epic.
Yeah, but it has. I think, yeah. Overall, it has more merit, and Danny McBride's one of the funniest people ever.
Yeah. Would recommend.
Okay.
Okay.
So then they go right. I mean, mudding, not too much happens except that Billy immediately commits a cardinal mudding sin, and he goes right into the deep end of the mud, and
Immediately stuck.
Sonya's like, God damn, we're stuck in the mud. And then Luann's new boyfriend
Yeah.
has to get them out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Tows them out. And then they do something insane afterwards where they play tug of war with cars.
Yeah, that was just like an added bonus. They're like, hey, mudding wasn't that great. Let's just do this tug of war with the cars. And who won? I think it broke.
Well, I think they were claiming that Billy won, but
Well,
it
to
was
give him-
very hard to say.
I think it was just to make him look good in front of Sonya because he had flopped in front of Sonya.
Yeah. But I'm like, aren't you just essentially tearing those cars apart?
Yeah, then I think the other guy says, like, here's your lights back on your car because they, like, started to, like, rip off or something.
Yeah. And then Luann kisses Billy on the lips.
I was so shocked. In addition to, like, this mudding adventure and all this stuff, I'm like, Luann, you had to sneak a kiss on Billy's lips? And that's something that you don't really fake for drama. To actually
Right.
kiss someone on the lips is very personal.
She was like, no, here. And then Sonya is like, can you fucking keep your dirty mitts off of my men? And then describes herself as a cock curator.
Yes.
And says, like, basically, if she has sex with someone, then everyone else knows that they're a good pick.
Right. And she also says earlier, she says, good dick can only get you so far, which I thought was another good Sonya truism.
I love it.
Amazing. I mean, this is what I'm trying to say about, like, just every minute with them is so fun. They can make anything fun. Just put them in a room, like, with nothing, and they will
Yeah.
be entertaining with each other, which is such a rare talent.
Yeah. And then she pushes Luann into the mud, and Luann is clearly, like, horrified.
Oh, yeah. And then they just are what? Just fighting in the mud for a little
Fighting
bit.
in the mud, and then hosing themselves off with, like, a farm-grade
Yeah.
hose thing, and
That
they're
was-
just like putting water down their cracks,
And
and
then the mayor, right? Then the mayor calls them.
yeah, he's like, girls, I need to see you immediately.
I need an update on the park, right?
Yeah. He's like, tell me more about what you've accomplished. And they bring his cardboard cutout. They show a montage of them doing manual labor to just, I guess they have to physically build the park themselves.
Yes, of course. Right. I mean, they're there.
And they said that they used their connections to buy a playground,
Yes.
which I'm wondering what connections. And
Richard Lewis. Right?
he has a source on Alibaba.com.
Like for a bunch of park related equipment.
Yeah, and they're stoked. He's like, that is great.
The mayor lit up like a Christmas tree.
yeah.
They've
They've been trying to build that park for 3 years.
Did you see what the stuff looked like, the equipment?
It looked kind of just like a run-of-the-mill, essentially a backyard playground.
Yeah, but each thing had a Richard Lewis face on it. Did you see that?
It was the Larry David slide, the Richard Lewis swing, and the Paula Poundstone fireman's pole.
Yeah, who's Paula Poundstone again?
Comedian.
Oh, really? In 80s?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, right. Sorry, I saw that. Yeah. But then, right, they leave the mayor's office. They're so stoked, and they made the mayor happy
Yeah.
as hell.
Yeah.
They take his cardboard cutout to the
He was like,
motel.
woo-wee!
Then they take it back, and then, unfortunately, the shoe has to drop, or whatever the expression is. It's all for naught. The playground contact fell out. Richard Lewis said, I can't buy a park. That's not a Richard Lewis, but that's just he goes, I'm sorry, Sonya, I wanted to get back with you, but I can't afford a park. You're on your own. I'm sorry. And then they have that mayor cardboard cutout, which leads to a perfect opportunity to test how they're going to disappoint the mayor.
Yeah.
Right?
They should have called LVP.
To what?
She
right.
could have facilitated it wherever Ken buys her swings.
Now, good thought experiment. Do you think Lisa enjoys Sonya and Luann?
She probably thinks they're a little much.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly think Lisa would be... Well, never mind. I don't even want to say it. I think that she might have a rivalry with them based off how entertaining and
As
fun
the
they are.
elders.
Yeah. Like, as the sort of OGs of
Yeah.
franchises. Like, I can imagine them not getting along for some reason.
Yeah. Okay.
Who knows? And then they kind of do just this fun, like, play acting with what they're going to tell the mayor. And then the episode just ends with them still having fun. I like how these episodes end where it's, like, still in the action. Like, it's just so funny they don't want to cut.
I love that it felt like they were doing like a campside skit, skit
Yeah.
where Sonya's like, we're not getting the playground, like super stressed. And Luann's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And she goes, it's an inventory issue.
Right.
They're just like playing out this whole plot line, and it's so silly.
Yeah, I like it too. And then with this show, you can accept the artifice because it's just so
It doesn't matter.
fake. It doesn't matter that, you don't care what they're doing. Like, I don't care what aspects of this are fake because the whole thing is just so silly.
Yeah, and it's just hilarious to watch them. You can imagine the producer coming in like 5 minutes before and being like, all right, so now you have to say you actually couldn't get the playground, bring in the cardboard cutout and figure out what you're going to say.
And they're like, okay, we got it. And then they just have a 5-minute entertaining scene of play acting with the mayor. It was
I wonder
awesome.
what's going to happen next time, if they're going to figure out an alternative or hire someone to build a playground.
Yeah, for sure that park is coming.
Couldn't they get one on like Amazon?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a bunch of park equipment. Yeah, I think that they will not leave that park unbuilt because that's like for children, and they won't leave that animal rescue shelter unfixed either because those are just two things.
Graham is in the shelter.
Wait. So when this was filmed, that potentially matches up with the timeline, right?
Yeah.
Last summer.
When Raquel started fucking Sandoval,
Oh.
she drove Graham to Crappie Lake and left him there.
Oh my God. And then so Vanderpump Dogs, there was a little bit of a delay because the equipment wasn't working at the rescue facility. So
Yeah,
Graham
because
was...
Sonya and Luann had to fix it.
Oh my God. So Graham is going to make an appearance in this season of Crappie Lake.
I think so.
Do you think there'll be a season 2?
Maybe it would be a different location.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's no... Yeah. I mean, them going to any different city
They should
could be
send
fun.
them abroad.
I want to see them in Charleston.
That'd be fun.
Remember how they said they had sex with Craig and
Yeah.
how they had sex with Austin and Craig denied it through their teeth?
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to be put on the spot?
Yeah.
That would be so fun to
They
see
can
them in
go
Charleston.
like crab fishing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Are we done with our Crappie Lake?
Crappie
talk?
Lake.
Let's spend a brief, just because we are bordering on the 2 hour, depending on what the conversation yields. I don't know if Atlanta and OC really deserve the Amy and Riley raise hell treatment.
Yeah.
I consider them both really, truly to be in a mid-season Nadir
Slump.
flop era. I mean, I don't know. How do you, let's talk about Atlanta first. How do you feel
Sure.
about Atlanta?
Yeah, it felt like this was like a transition episode just to get us to the cast trip.
Yes.
Like they get there more than halfway through.
Yes.
So you don't get to fully party in Portugal.
Yeah,
How
party.
is that for peas?
Oh. Testing. Party in Portugal. Yes. But I didn't like the first half of the scene, which is
The
Ralph.
brunch.
Ralph said, hey, I want to get you guys on a good in a good place before you go to Portugal. So I'm hosting a men's brunch where all the men do things for you, which no one did anything.
Right.
They all wore aprons.
There was
but there's
already a chef, and then the chef would be like, all right, put that shrimp in a pan.
Right. And Ralph clearly just wanted a event that he hosted. Because
Right.
he is the most fame hungry of
He's
house husbands I think
untrustworthy.
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
His scenes to create spotlight for him are so inauthentic that this just came off really bad.
Yeah.
And even Drew is like, this came out of nowhere. And also she was like, he doesn't cook for me normally. So
The way that she phrased what she said about it made no sense, but I knew what she was saying, I guess. But she was saying, she was like, it came out of nowhere. If he thinks that he's going to paint a good picture by doing this, he has better chances of peace in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah. I mean, well, so we know that their relationship is fraying.
And I'm
'cause-
like, let's not get into the Middle East again.
oh, I know for sure. I did not want her to go into like what's going on in the Middle East.
Yeah.
But I
But
think
yeah, when she said that, I was like, oh, you hate him.
Yeah, and I think this is another example of Ralph and her being on completely different. What's that called? Like wavelengths in terms of like Ralph just does things without her for his own screen time and doesn't tell her until the very last minute, and they have no bond or
Right.
unity between them. And Drew, I think, is starting to learn that Ralph is all about himself. I mean, he detested her in the early seasons of him and Drew.
That was
and then,
dark shit.
Yeah, and then when he got like feedback on it or whatever, the gaslighting stuff, and he
That's
realized
literally her tagline.
I know. 'Cause
What is it? It was like, no more gaslighting and on to the limelight or something like that. Where I'm like, that's so depressing that your tagline has to do with gaslighting and you're not even divorced on this season. Like, it would be great if she was divorced and on the other side where you're like, bye-bye gaslighting. Hello, shining bright.
No, she's commenting on a thing that's horrible about him, and they're still in
They're
the
still
relationship.
together. It's so dark.
Remember they did that like black and white like short film about what like gaslighting was, and they
Right.
made Ralph the center point of it.
Yeah.
So Ralph is the most, I think, nakedly and fame hungry.
Naked is right.
Naked is right. We
What's
find
that
out.
show called?
Oh, Naked and Afraid.
No, the black magic Mike.
Oh.
Chocolate Love. What's it called?
I think it was called Chocolate City.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah. Chocolate City.
So I think we can just talk about it now because
Yeah.
it just happens completely randomly in the episode. But the producer who was on Drew's music video, which
Yeah.
is amazing, for the amazing song "Already Know," which we've been ending our episodes.
Already know.
You don't have to tell me whose is it when we're switching positions because you already know. Ralph produced that.
Yeah.
That's one huge win for Ralph. But anyway, she says that the producer loved seeing Ralph when he took his shirt off. So she offered him an audition in Las Vegas to be a part of the Black Magic Mike show. And the way the other cast members react, even
So rude.
seemingly being friends with Drew, Candy is like, what? What does she say? She's like, Ralph dropping it down, or Rob dropping it down to
For
get
our ones.
For our ones. You couldn't believe it. Kenya goes, what the hell?
Marlo said, quote, I think Heath has a better chance, which is Moneta's white husband.
Sonya goes, I forget what Sonya said, but she is just incredulous. They're just like, what are you talking about?
They're all basically like,
I think it's just so funny that they're all comfortable being that grossed out by a cast member's husband that they don't even care when she sees that.
Yeah.
They detest Ralph that much that they
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
And it also makes me feel valid in how I feel about Ralph.
Yeah. No, that's very weird. And it's weird that he wants to do that. And I'm just so confused.
Yeah. This brunch, was a complete flop. It makes no sense. They get there, they try to they take every opportunity when they're sitting down to, what is it, drudge up drama? What's the right word? They try to bring drama to the forefront, which obviously that's in every Housewives franchise, but it happens every single time they sit down. There's no the conflict to resolution balance is so skewed. It's almost conflict, but very low level conflict that we don't really care about. And there's not a lot of scenes of resolution or them having fun.
Right.
So
I did like that they reminded us of the movie that Kenya was in called Twa.
I liked that reminder too.
We should rent that.
Yeah. And it's and Drew says it's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Which I liked that cover though. It looked kind of fun.
Yeah. It looked like it gave me that feeling of being in Hollywood Video, and you'd see that cover and you'd be like, I wonder what that is.
Totally. There was a good moment, I would say, that gets revealed here, which is that when Marlo sees Roy on FaceTime, that Kenya's FaceTime, she hasn't seen Roy yet, I guess, apparently. Marlo said he went in her DMs, gave her advice on like what outfit to wear for a Cynthia Bailey video shoot
he said,
or something.
The bodysuit, Miss Marlo.
And then they picked up a little conversation and went on a full-blown date.
Yeah. These women need to be careful. These men are going to try one after the other till one sticks.
I mean, Martell and Roy basically had the exact same MO.
Yeah.
Get in the DMs of every single Atlanta cast member. I mean, and basically what Louis was doing, I think, with Teresa. I forget how that happened, but that was inorganic as well. I mean, you got to worry about the male fans of Real Housewives. I mean, I am one of them. But if they start to DM the cast members another one, it really is like they're trying to potentially date whoever will have them to get on the show.
Do you trust Scott Lee?
I trust Scott Lee. I just didn't think him and Marlo had good chemistry. I felt like we talked about. I thought that they were overdoing it for the camera, performatively. But I don't get a bad vibe from Scott Lee. I think he's just a fine, nice, normal guy.
Yeah.
I thought it was awful that Kenya made fun of his outfit.
I know.
It was a fine.
Whatever.
It was a fine outfit.
Yeah. I like how small Atlanta is because there were like 10 different instances of everyone knowing each other.
Yeah. Everyone knew Courtney's boyfriend or
ex baby daddy.
Oh, right.
Or
they're like
permanent baby daddy, ex-partner.
Right. They were all like, we know Bryce from 20 years ago. They all knew him.
Then Candy knew Scott Lee.
Right.
Marlo knew Roy.
Yes.
So that was funny.
And then Kenya really completely brushes off this revelation. I love Kenya so much, but she's being hypocritical. She lit Martell on fire for sending her a thanks for the nice words DM
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And then she won't even bat an eye at the fact that Roy went on a full-blown date with her.
She goes,
biggest enemy.
Thank God that he realized she wasn't the one, so I can date him instead. And everyone's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, good off-the-cuff rationalization, but she hates that.
Yeah.
But she pretends like she's unbothered. And I was thinking like Marlo was kind of in her flop era and had no allies, but this was a clear win for Marlo.
Totally. You could tell she was thriving in that moment.
She loved it. And then I also liked when Candy is talking about the movie and she's talking about casting, and Kenya, like we said, she's like, Kenya's like, oh, well, okay, so I didn't get my offer yet or whatever. And Kenny's like, Drew got offered the part. And Kenya's just incredulousness at Drew. It's like that. Also, I mean, I'm very surprised they chose to cast Drew in the movie.
Well, they basically, Candy was like, well, the character is a dumb bitch, so.
Yeah. Yes, totally. That was it. And
she's like, she's young, dumb, and full of cum, and the first name that came to mind was Drew.
Yeah. I guess that was some shade towards Drew.
I was hoping there would be more vibes from the husbands hanging outside. It was totally boring, and I wanted them to bond more, especially because Scott Lee and Sonya's husband are both. Her husband's Jamaican too, right?
Yeah.
Like I was like, Scott Lee was trying.
I was very confident,
not.
but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know if Ross is.
Yeah, I don't, because she has so many family members in the house where they're always talking about Jamaican stuff, but I don't remember if he is.
Yeah.
But so maybe that's why they didn't bond on it. But I kept waiting for there to be something fun happening, and then I was like, actually, I do love Heath.
Yeah, I like Heath.
I love the singular. There's always, it's like the one white husband, like Chris on Potomac, where they always have that swag about them. They've just assimilated into the community.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
I'm like, you know what? you can stay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
seems to like him.
Right, totally. Yeah, no, I completely also expected there to be more camaraderie with the guys out there. Like, I feel
Todd
like,
was trying.
who?
Todd.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, because Todd, yeah, I mean,
Todd's a producer. He's like, we have to make this
he
scene
knows
something.
Yeah, he knows that scene was like flopping. I mean, they wanted like a maybe New Jersey House Husbands vibe, but it didn't.
It didn't take.
It didn't take at all.
And then Candy was like, we're out of here.
yeah. And there was one moment that I sort of thought was interesting. It's when Courtney and Kenya are having a little bit of a tiff. Do you remember? Like, I forget what happens. Kenya says something about how Courtney is not going to be the peacemaker because her and Candy are doing so bad. And then Courtney tries to give it back to Kenya and starts laughing and trying to be playful, but also throw shade at Kenya, like that she's a crisis or whatever. And she starts to touch her, and Kenya goes, "Don't touch," or I forget what she says exactly, but she's kind of like, you're getting a little touchy, and I would really like it if you don't touch me. And the look on Courtney's face, it's just so embarrassing to be told not to touch.
She keeps
someone.
going too far.
Yeah, I mean, she is a pretty bad addition to the cast, at least so far.
Oh my gosh. And then Sheree tries to stir the pot,
Yes.
the bone collector.
Yes.
And she goes, is that chef going to get paid? Because I heard you don't pay your chef.
Right.
And she goes on to tell some weird story about that a woman who's a chef wanted to do a trial to hopefully get hired. So she
Yes.
cooked them a meal, but then she said that the meal was trash.
And there was a bunch of hairs
There was
in
hair. And I'm like, well, it sounds like you guys didn't have a contract in place about whether it was a free sample or not.
Right.
But then it was very funny that all the women were like, how much is she suing you for? And it was $1,000.
And I go,
And I'm like, how much are you paying your lawyer to handle that? Like, you just give her $1,000.
I guess, but would you really? I mean, if someone sued you and it did have hairs in it and like you
But,
didn't
like-
agree on payment, I don't know.
But you're definitely going to pay your lawyer more than $1,000 to handle that.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what lawyers cost. So yeah, if it was going to be over, you just pay. But I
Like,
don't know.
if
I
it's
wouldn't. But then,
ongoing for that long.
but then that means anybody can come to you and just get 1,000
Well,
from you.
that's true.
I could sue Drew anytime I wanted and just get $1,000 a pop
That's
to pay
the
for
thing
BravoCon.
about public figures. They're all getting sued constantly.
And if it's just low enough threshold, they might just pay it for the.
Settle, yeah.
What could we get sued for? Oh, every time we go into Villa Rosa uninvited, we could scrape ourselves on those fences that we always crawl under.
Yeah, the roses and the
Right?
thorns.
Oh, we could sue the shit out of Lisa, but only for damages of like $650.
Yeah, maybe under 500.
Why don't we do 666 and
That's
pay
good.
the full Bravo ticket?
That's true.
Okay.
That's exactly what we need. But maybe we should go for.
I don't
we
wanna
have to
sue
do
the-
it twice so that we can get VIP.
Yes, but I don't want to sue them yet because I still want our podcast to go on and not have an ongoing lawsuit. But let's sue them at some point.
Okay. All right. Well, then they go to the airport to go to Portugal, and I cannot believe that Candy still went.
I know.
I can't imagine a worse scenario. She really must be a professional because I would never.
Was it?
They
Did it-
said she was sick before they got on the plane.
Oh, okay.
so she already knew she was sick, but maybe it got way worse.
It sounds like it. They said that Sonya said that she was like in there for 2 hours.
I know, she was like, I thought we left her behind because she wasn't in her seat for 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, and Candy illustrates it. She says it was just a back and
Both
forth.
ends.
But like, I was like, I hope to God that wasn't that old lady gang.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? But
Like
she would have
OLG
never.
food, you mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, what's their
Oh, I just did I just shortened it.
I was like, what's their restaurant franchise called? But yeah, I'm sure it wasn't. Obviously, I'm not even putting that out in the ether. But she looks sick as hell when she arrives. Like
That
she's
sounds
just
terrible. And
yeah.
that must be a long fucking flight.
yes.
Jesus. Also, did you notice that in certain interviews with Sheree, she looks completely different? Like, there's one, I think she's wearing like purple.
Yes.
She is like post surgery or something, and they use it in the last episode too. But there's just a really jarring confessional that they use in the past couple episodes where Sheree clearly got, I think, a nose job and maybe something else, and she looks completely different.
I have noticed it. They've used it 3 different times, and I notice it every time. I'm like,
It's
what
shocking.
is going on with Sheree in this scene? It's so inconsistent.
It's crazy.
I don't recognize her. I thought it was like the light and like the angle and maybe what she was wearing or whatever. But yeah, I think you're right. She looks very different.
Insane. Because you're watching her, and then it'll be
Right.
the confessional, and you're like, ah!
Yeah.
So yeah, they make it there. This is where they have the Ralph in Vegas conversation.
Right.
And this is where Drew, she says she's been to South Africa, but she's never been to Africa.
Yeah, a little silly.
Which
I mean, I can't cast
it's giving Underground Railroad.
I don't think so. I can't cast aspersions on anyone not knowing geography after the things that I've said already on
I
this
know,
podcast.
but you think if you physically have entered the continent.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I give her all the leeway in the world. I have already seen the limits of what I know geographically. So
Yeah,
it
I'm
also
not
could have been
gonna-
it could have been a little blip of her mind. And they really they gave her the business there with that edit of showing
Yeah.
South Africa.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Oh yeah. I mean, do you want to wrap this up? I mean, it was
Sure. The only quote that I liked was, okay, well, first of all, there's that storyline about that She by Sheree was confiscated after the reunion, which I thought was funny, and I totally believe.
Well, yes, and I think you can basically consider it confirmed. Candy admits it, Kenya admits it, Sonya admits it. So
And then they cut to Marlo, and she's merched out, dripping in She by Sheree.
dripped the fuck out, and She by Sheree from toes to the head. Right? She's wearing a who's gonna check
Wasn't
me
she wearing
boo?
like 2 hats?
Yes, 2 hats on top of each other. A who gonna check me boo shirt. Like I think probably more underneath, and so I'm wondering, what did Marlo just take everything, and then they were like, "That's enough. You can't take anymore."
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
I really got a chuckle out of that.
And then Sheree though absolutely hates that this is bringing.
Well, she
brought up.
goes, that has nothing to do with me. And I'm like, well, it does, but
Yes,
okay.
and then Candy can't even for 1 second suffer through Sheree lying about it because it's just like, we know what happened.
Yeah.
And then that's why Sheree said she called to attention Drew's lawsuit. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm sort of warming up to Drew in a way. First of all, already know, bangs the fuck out. That
Yeah.
song is so amazing.
Yeah.
And then I thought so she fights with Sheree. She's like, I can't believe you brought a lawsuit up, like something that legitimately could harm my family in return or in exchange for what I said about She by Sheree, a sort of lighthearted digs. There is lighthearted shade that goes
Yeah.
on that's sort of, you don't really have to pay penance for. And this is a true thing that
Yeah.
Drew said. And then Sheree brings up the lawsuit, which is very personal. And I thought that Drew's slow burn cry as you watched her get more and more emotional, I actually felt for her. I was
Yeah.
like, that was kind of sad. And I
Yeah.
don't know if she felt like that was a low blow. I don't know if something's going on with Ralph that she's not talking about yet.
Yeah.
Or if it legitimately hurt her that Sheree brought up something legitimate in exchange or in return for that like low level shade. But I felt for Drew. I was like kind of
Yeah.
sad for her. And I felt like she voiced her objections to what Sheree did pretty well. And then you could tell that Sheree really had no deep feelings about it. It was just par for the course.
Yeah.
She didn't really get upset at all. She was ready to just like eat food right after. And Drew really took that to heart.
Totally.
And then they follow Drew outside. And
Yeah.
I think Marlo says reasonably, she says, Sheree, you just made
This is your trip.
Your
Go
guest
take care of it.
cry.
I liked when Kenya was like, I think that you guys have like a big sister, little sister dynamic. And Marlo said, they're giving Britney Spears and Jamie Lynn, not Venus and Serena.
Yeah, I love that too. Another Kenya moment just to pinpoint is I love when they were on the bus going to Algarve, and the minute Sheree goes, this is all about light and healing and we're going to spread positivity, Kenya very pointedly turns her head around, like very theatrically points her head around, and Sheree goes, what are you doing, Miss Kenya, looking away from me? And Kenya goes, oh no, I just wanted to see your lips move when you said that.
She's
And Sheree
like,
goes,
you did the opposite.
you turned around. And then when Kenya turns around, she does that performative peek at her like she's staring very intently.
Yeah.
Kenya is just so funny to me. Like all of my
Yeah.
favorite moments from this episode were Kenya related.
Yeah. Well, in the preview for next week, she eats shit and an ambulance gets called.
She already went in an ambulance.
She's so drama.
She already went to an ambulance this season.
It's giving Vicky in Iceland
Totally. Oh my god.
with the sheet over her head.
Oh my god. Yes. Kenya went in the hospital in Birmingham, Alabama,
Yeah.
I believe, for that trip earlier this year. So
Right.
there's 2
What
ambulances.
happened? She was like,
She didn't want to do that HBCU dance, at halftime or whatever.
so she was like, I can't breathe.
And it wasn't. She didn't even say it's COVID or flu or anything. She just goes, "I felt really bad," and Marlo legitimately dropped the beef and said, "I hope you feel better."
Yeah.
And then they said that they called within 30 minutes, and Kenya was like already out of the hospital. So it was like I think she was just trying to get out of that.
Yeah, she will call an ambulance on a dime.
Yeah. Okay, so Atlanta was fun. I mean, that was actually fun to talk about.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. I mean, right? I guess.
I'm excited. I like the footage that they show coming up. That looks like it's iPhone or hidden camera footage or something of them in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like, I guess they have to let the camera people go to bed, and so if they're going to party all night, they just set up a camera.
Oh, right. And it sounds like there was like some dancing and then some drama unfolded after hours.
Yeah.
Which, that's always fun.
Candy gets pissed, I think.
Yeah. Also, if the cracks start to form between Drew and Ralph, and like, I for Drew's mental health and well-being, I do want her, out of this relationship with Ralph, which she already is in. Like, I'd be interested to see how that happens. That could potentially happen, this season.
Yeah.
So there is some, good stuff that could happen.
Totally. All right.
Whew. Okay.
Last but not least,
Yeah.
Rosie.
Last but not least, okay.
Oh no, boo, you didn't.
Yes. I mean, one advantage to this episode was I did like seeing Nobu inside. I've never seen it.
Oh.
I've only heard about it for
Which
years.
one was this?
I guess it would have to be, there must be one
Like
in Orange
Newport
County,
or
right?
something?
They didn't take a boat to Malibu.
Malibu.
Right?
They like sailed the high seas
That would have been such a
from
long...
Orange County to Malibu.
There must be one in like Dana Point or something.
Probably. Yeah.
Have you been to Nobu?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I've just heard about it in like the pop culture zeitgeist, and I know people who go.
Yeah.
I've heard of people that even
I've
we
heard
know.
it's good.
I've heard it's good. So I liked seeing that. But this episode, I thought, was a full-blown snooze.
Oh, wow.
You liked it? Tell me.
No. I just, there was at least some action.
I thought the action, well, any Tamara-related action,
Yeah.
I'm not here for.
Yeah.
So,
Well, at
okay,
least
well,
Emily
let's
was
talk
back.
about it. I mean, we're divided. Let's talk about it.
At least Emily was back.
Emily was back, but she's doing something that I don't agree with, which we'll get to.
Okay.
Do you want to go generally, or do you want to recap scene by scene? I mean, I have almost every scene here if you wanted to.
I think we can just make our way through. I don't think we have to do nitty gritty, but, there was a quick peek at Tamara's son, Ryan, and I have to just say again that he looks like he's dying.
You think you look sick?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I know what he looks like now, so I don't even pay attention. I did think this was actually a funny scene. It was sad.
Yeah.
She was like, "I gave you our what was it,
Bronx.
Bronx? I gave his ashes to you, Ryan, but I had to split them up, so I gave you the ass end." I was like, "That's pretty funny." And Ryan goes, "His best part." I was like, "Oh, that's kind of a cute little."
R.I.P. Bronx.
Yeah, that's sad.
I also, when they show Emily in her kitchen with her family, it's revealed that she has a cat,
Right.
which I was excited about.
Yeah, and she's holding up the cat, and
He was like, Shane was like,
Don't
why are
feed-
you giving the cat to the
Yeah.
dog? And that makes me like her even more, that she not only has dogs, but a cat.
yeah, I mean, Emily's home life is killing it, and it's always interesting. So I think the first major scene, which I have notes on, is that Tamara and Emily go to get a pedicure.
Yeah.
And Heather arrives. And before Heather can arrive, Tamara starts to lay the groundwork for talking shit about Heather and clearing a path to get everyone to talk about how Heather is condescending to people, which seems to be the buzzword
Yes.
that they want to associate with Heather.
Yeah.
I am not a Heather fan. I've already said it. And I do think Heather can be condescending, but I think it is fake and very performative the way they are attaching this label to her. That shoveling shit thing, the most innocuous thing in the world to say.
Yeah.
That I learned a lesson from doing horrific manual labor. Not horrific, but I learned a lesson from shoveling shit that everyone is worthwhile. And they're like, that is so condescending that she just learned that at the age of 50 or whatever. And Emily really gets on the train of saying that too.
Yeah.
So then by the time Heather gets there, they have fully talked shit about her. And
Yeah.
it continues all throughout the episode.
Yeah.
Gina talks shit about Heather. Tamara continues her reign of terror, and I think Emily really talks shit about Heather, and I think like inorganically. Like I didn't really know Heather or Emily had those feelings toward Heather.
Right.
So I feel like they're trying to make her a target now.
Yeah.
So,
She was definitely on the chopping block this episode. She had to really defend herself. I feel like with the shoveling shit thing, it was like she keeps talking about it and they keep talking about it. Like she keeps being like, that's crazy that I did that.
Yeah.
And they're all like, you're annoying, like about, making a big deal about having done that. And it's more like, everyone just shut up about it. It's something you did for 10 minutes.
Yes, but they haven't told her to her face that they think it's lame that she keeps bringing it up. So they keep making fun of her for it, and she's thinking this is like sort of endearing or just interesting about her or whatever, and it's sad the way they're treating Heather. Yeah. I'm actually feeling bad for Heather the way they're treating her.
Okay. I'm glad that you have some wiggle room on Heather.
I do. I just think that it was so innocuous, and and Tamara makes everything worse.
Yeah. For sure. It did feel like they were just using Emily as a delivery person because they're like, she'll say it.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I appreciate that she is willing to go there with people.
Yeah.
It's nice to have her back.
Yeah, I like that. I love Emily's, she I guess is a bridge between all the cast members and usually gets to the bottom of dramatic moments organically in a I guess astute way, but this to me felt too harped on. Like I don't know what the right word is, but this felt like she's just joining the hate train of Heather, and Heather really has not done anything to warrant this.
Yeah.
The next scene I just only thought was notable because Gina, I guess finally is apologizing to Jen and says, "I am officially ready to just be normal to you after 7 episodes of having a one-sided feud with her." It's like, no one needed this. And Gina is just finally saying, I officially now stand with you, Jen. And it's so annoying that it took this long for Gina to do this.
I know. And now I guess they'll be allies.
I mean, I assume Gina can't go back because then it looks so lame.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she's already gone back and forth on Jen so much.
Right.
So
I always wonder how well a yoga studio could do. She said that she's financial partners with her ex. And I'm like, you got to have a lot of people doing yoga to pay that rent.
Well, it probably is in the OC, a lot of people doing yoga.
Yeah.
What
Curious.
do you think? Yoga Town?
And then I did like the Emily mom storyline.
Me too.
Shane, when he got home, he smacks her on the ass,
which
he always does.
He did? I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I must have been furiously writing notes about Gina or something. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
A nice smack?
It was before, a nice smack.
Did they give him the sound effect?
I don't, there was definitely a sound, but I don't think it was like, whoosh.
Right. Like the huge one they did earlier.
And they showed her dog had a cone.
Yes.
She was texting with her mom.
Well, yeah, she says, okay, so she hasn't seen her mom in, 2 years, was it?
Yeah, it might have been like 2019.
Which was on the show.
Yeah.
And she has a strained relationship with her mom. She doesn't talk to her mom often.
Yeah.
The kids barely know her.
Yeah.
They barely recognize her in a photo.
That's always awkward when that happened with Kenya's daughter as well.
Yes.
Like introducing to her grandpa. And it's always so awkward because, toddlers are scared of people anyways, like shy.
Oh.
And then it's like when they're like, this is your grandma. And they're like, eh.
Yeah, toddlers don't know how to act. They don't know it's their family.
It's like awkward.
Yeah, but I thought Emily, getting so upset or, about seeing those photos, being reminded of it. I don't know. Yeah, that was really interesting. She really let it all out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she has a lot of trauma about
with both parents.
Yeah.
Abandonment.
Yeah.
She said that her mom, was so depressed when she got divorced from her husband that she would just sleep all the time, and that Emily and her sibling had to just basically take care of themselves as they
get
were growing
themselves
up.
ready for school.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah, very sad.
But yeah, I liked that peek in. And
Me
then quickly Shannon goes shopping with her daughters. Whatever, nothing really happens. They spend $3,000
on off-gassed clothes.
Yeah.
So gassed clothes are toxic clothes, new clothes.
Yeah, I guess she's saying, when they're freshly manufactured, they're toxic. They have a stink on them of toxic chemicals.
Right.
But if they're used, the chemicals have worn off by then.
Oh, so my beautiful Brooks and Dawn shirt has toxic gas all over it.
I feel like you've gotten some good wear out of it. So
What are you talking about? No. Okay, so yeah, she buys some off-gassed clothing, and then we get to the main event. When you say
another boat,
a boat,
which
again.
is, I think they underestimated the size of the boat because they are packed in like sardines on
Right.
this little boat.
and they keep spilling because they're so packed in.
Yeah.
They're like all hitting each other and stuff.
Literally, like when the first 4 people got there, I was like, okay, boat's full, looks good. And then people just kept coming. And I was
Right.
like, there's no world in which these people can fit on here.
Yeah, Taylor and Heather have a quick moment because they're the first to arrive, and they basically just squash it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, IMDb drama's over. I didn't think that would ever last, and
Yeah.
it's over.
Yeah. Neither of them had the will to
No.
keep that going.
No.
I liked when Shannon's like, John lives down there under that bridge, and Emily's like a troll.
Yeah. I think that was just one of the funniest moments, natural funniest moments for sure.
And so yeah, they sail the high seas all the way to Nobu. I was confused about what that thing was that dropped into the ocean.
Yeah,
was
what
it
was
a
it?
bird that dropped a fish?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I wasn't aware either.
Yeah, people were like, was that a shark?
Yeah.
Um,
Is that, and then they arrive, right, to
Yeah.
the docks of Nobu?
The docks of Nobu. Heather has given everyone a Tom Ford candle and custom chopsticks, and she wants everyone to sign a card for her daughter who is at college
And is going through a rough time. She said that what's her daughter's name?
Nikki's the son.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, me neither. But she said that she's like having a really hard time adjusting to college, which I guess is normal.
Yeah,
The first 2
she's
months.
like, I'm gonna take a PJ tonight to go visit her.
Right. But also didn't she say that the boxes of the gifts says I'm too fabulous to shovel shit in
Yeah.
Japanese?
So she brought it up again.
Right. So again, Heather thinks this is endearing and fun, and little does she know they're secretly making fun of her about this.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
bad.
she probably spent so much money on that stuff. Like, I didn't Google the candle, but I assume it's like a $200 candle.
Yeah. And then they proceed to be horrible to Heather the entire dinner.
Yeah.
First off, they're talking about the Jen drama again because
Yeah.
Tamara is bringing up. Tamara starts. I don't even know how they get to it. Tamara starts to talk about Ryan being unfaithful and how she's worried, and then no, they're talking about the drama of Montana,
Yeah.
and then Emily just wants to know legitimately what happened in Montana, and she goes, "Okay, is the Gina and Jen beef done now?" And then they bring up why Gina had hard feelings towards Jen, and then I think Heather goes, "We just need to have a reset on Jen where we just start fresh with Jen," which is a completely legitimate thing to say. And Emily goes, Emily.
They're all like, what's with you and the reset?
My favorite cast member, Emily, goes, "No, we don't need a reset. What is with the reset button? We need to know her and grow from her past."
They're
It's
all like, boo!
reset. No, we're never going to reset.
She
They're
was
all-
like shocked. She was like, okay.
Yeah. It was,
She's like,
it was,
I thought that's what we do.
it
but
was
okay.
exactly how they treated her after she said her feelings were hurt in Montana when Shannon and Tamara had more
Yeah.
love for each other, and then they all go, "What feelings were those? Those horrible feelings? I invalidate your feelings."
They're
just
all like, that's it.
yeah, they're just like taking every chance they can get, and the fact that she brought up a reset button, the most wholesome, easy to understand thing in the world. They're like
Yeah.
pouncing on her for that, and then Gina starts to like. Well, this is after, but first there's another Tamra and Jen,
Yeah.
major fight. Where, right? I mean, is this when it
Yeah.
happens? I mean, it's two fights happening at the
The
same
dick
time.
pic comes up.
Yeah, and Tamara is saying, "I'm just looking out for you. I had to tell you these things, and Jen's saying, "Well, I'm learning things from you in front of all of my new friends that are awful that you could have told me,
Yeah.
on your own," which is
Yeah.
her main gripe against Tamara. And then Tamara starts to scream. Tamara's drunk.
She's going off.
She starts to scream. She goes, "I don't think Ryan will ever be faithful. That's why I'm doing this. That's why, because I care about you so much," which Tamara does not give a
No.
shit about Jen. Not one
No.
shit. She would throw her under the bus for anything, for an extra minute of screen time. So
Yeah.
Jen needs to learn that officially. Jen kind of gives her the business back. She goes, "Who else was interested in Ryan?"
Yeah.
And Tamara, you can see Tamara's
Demon
eyes.
eyes.
Oh my God, they
And she
black
goes,
out.
You better watch it, Tamra.
Jen says, you better watch it, Tamara, because I have something to say. Tamara's eyes turned to full black demon. You guys got to pause it. You can watch her eyes go full black. And she goes, are you telling me to watch it? Are you telling? She stands up like she's going to punch her. And then she throws her napkin full on her face, which to me, Jen does not deserve that at all.
Violence.
Violence. Awful. And then Tamara does.
Shannon's like, oh no, 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 no.
Gets up and then Tamara does what she does every single time. Runs away.
Yeah.
She's either running as fast as she can, stomping away, running into the bushes.
Yeah.
I don't know why she hasn't learned any lessons from her past.
The acting coach goes, is she always like this?
And they're
all like, yeah.
Yeah.
Which honestly, this might be the best thing that's happened to Jen because everyone was immediately on her side and was like, Tamara's a psychopath.
Yes. They were all like, I just don't want it from Tamara, so I'm not saying anything. Like, Tamara could do this to anyone.
Yeah.
Tamara runs. She's screaming. She's she's saying that, okay, and then Jen reveals, which I loved, reveals that, like, 3 years ago, they went to a party at, who was hosting the party? Ryan?
Yeah.
Eddie and Tamara went to a party at Ryan's house. And Tamara called Jen on the phone because he was, like, the hot guy at their gym.
Yeah.
And she goes, should I go up to his bedroom and take one for the team?
Yeah.
Which is funny.
It was a joke, which was fine.
Total humor that I could expect from Tamara. But for Tamara to be completely holier than thou and like, this is encroaching on infidelity.
Yeah.
And then he says he went to fuck me, which I find so egregious. She was indulging in that exact same humor.
Totally.
And I love that Jen brought it to the forefront.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Shannon has to go down
She's
to
like
consult.
clomping in her platform heels, like, where'd you go? She has to go like all the way outside, like down the stairs, around the corner.
Now I will say all of this would have been good if I legitimately believed that Tamara felt this way and wasn't just hamming it up for the camera.
Yeah.
Do I legitimately think Tamara was so incensed that she legitimately wanted to throw a napkin? No.
Yeah.
This is just her MO.
Yeah.
She just likes to have the most energy on her, and she likes to scream and throw stuff and kick up drama just to be engaging on the show. So that's why all Tamara scenes just don't hit for me, because I know she's just faking everything.
Yeah. I did like when they, Tamara and Shannon went what seemed like an organic trip to a separate bar.
Yes.
And they were like bonding with the bartender and just like the people at that bar.
Wasn't that just Nobu downstairs?
Yeah,
Oh,
but it was
yeah,
just
it
like
looked-
a totally different
Yes.
area that felt like it wasn't prepared to be on
Yes.
camera.
Yeah, and Tamara's screaming at the top of her lungs.
Yeah.
She goes, I need Xanax and a shot. I need Xanax and a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Emily says that Heather is scared of Tamara, so like she's not going to say anything.
Yes.
Basically, Emily thinks she's the only one that's not scared of Tamara, basically.
Which I think is true.
Yeah. And I wrote down, Gina has a laundry list for Heather.
Yes, and I wrote that too. Complete flop, awful. Gina has just made it her mission to like try to ruin Heather's reputation.
Yeah.
Pretend that she was never a real friend to her, which I don't think Heather's the most fun person, but I do think she's a legitimate friend to people and cares about them.
I did see what she meant when she was like, I'm getting my real estate license. And she was like, my teenage son is doing that too.
Yes. I'll give Gina that is not what you want to hear.
She's like, my dog is doing that, you fucking idiot.
Exactly right. That is that could have been a legitimate point of concern for Gina. I understand, but I get what Heather meant. That's fine. Gina can bring that into evidence. That could potentially be condescending. Nikki's doing that.
And then in Jen's confessional, she's talking shit about Tamara, and she throws a napkin at the camera.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, do you think she brought that, or do you think they gave it to her?
Probably gave it to her.
Yeah.
This Jen does not like to be like in fights. You could just tell she's averse to that. But I thought she brought it well in a pretty restrained way. But it was pretty cool for her to reveal that. Did she reveal it to them or only reveal it in the confessional? I forget.
She.
Yeah, I don't remember. Damn.
I think she says maybe in person. She says like, I don't need to say it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then that's less points for that. She should have said it to everyone.
But yeah, I think she could create a niche of support for herself from everyone after being attacked by Tamara, because everyone will give her,
Hopefully this is the end of the like Jen being used as a scapegoat for drama this season. But Ryan, I just saw something right before we started recording that like Ryan gave Andy Cohen at Watch What Happens
Oh my
Live a
God.
hashtag dick picture.
It was terrible.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was Andy hated it.
Yeah.
First of all, Jen was actually weird on Watch What Happens
was?
Live. I was like, she was kind of flopping. But Ryan was in the audience, and they were asking each other about the relationship, whatever. And Ryan, he was like, what do you have to say? Like, what do you want to shut down that was being said about your relationship or whatever? And he was like, that everything out of Tamara's mouth is a lie. And then he goes, he has a trucker hat that says like hashtag dick pics. And he was like, I have something for you, Andy. And Andy was like, oh, dick pic hat? Okay. And he was like, I already have merch, huh? And it like died on the vine. I wanted to commit suicide. It was terrible.
I mean, that is so bad of Ryan. I mean,
he really thought he was like a shining star, and I'm like, know your place. You're lucky he's even talking to you. Just when you sit in the audience, you don't really talk. Like real Bravo stars sit in the audience. Like Amanda will sit in the audience when Kyle is on.
Totally.
Like you just like chill. Like just sit there.
It's a chance to let your significant other shine.
It was horrific. And then there was a moment when Vivica A. Fox was the other guest, and they played a game like where they had a little gavel, and they would bang the gavel every time they would show a Bravo hunk, like bang or not bang.
Yeah.
And Vivica Fox banged her gavel a lot, like including for Shane, which I loved.
No,
Yeah.
Shane Simpson?
Yeah.
She banged the gavel? Please, someone isolate this clip and send it to me.
She was like, okay.
Wait, what kind of, does it make a banging noise?
Yeah, sometimes she
Duck,
would just
duck,
do a
duck.
little like click, click.
Oh, I'm watching that the minute we leave. Oh my God. I want to see.
I might have it still.
Okay, that's awesome.
So yeah, I even wrote that down specifically. Vivica gave Shane a tap.
That's awesome. Okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't know we were going to talk about Watch What Happens Live.
Oh,
so
well,
that's good.
I just, if I watch it,
Yeah.
I'll,
Yeah, that
if
was
anything
good.
pertinent comes up. But later they play a game, which was a total flop, where it was like Jen wore the Ramona eyes,
Okay.
and Vivica Fox had to give her clues and guess the celebrity.
Okay.
And she didn't know who anyone was, including Meryl Streep.
Oh, really?
She was like, Devil Wears Prada. And she was like, I don't know. It was
Whoa.
weird. And Andy was like, what the fuck? And then it was 50 Cent. And Vivica Fox goes, I dated him. He's a rapper, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, well, judging by the gavel game, it could be anybody. And Andy was like, what the hell?
Did it land like a thud?
It was a little, Vivica Fox was like, Jesus Christ.
So Jen was not
Like she
ready.
was trying to be sassy, but it was so not her nature that you were just like, what's wrong with you?
I mean, I could totally see Jen flopping in that environment for sure.
And Andy was like horrified by it, which made it even more horrifying because
Yes.
he was like, let's go to break. We need to air this out. And then when they came back from break, he was like, moving on from that horrible game. Like he kept saying
Wait,
it.
when did that Watch What Happens Live air?
It was after. So yeah.
All right, I'm watching the entire thing. But just to get back to
So then I was like, wait, maybe Jen is weird.
yeah, I mean that's not good. And Ryan, that's really not good.
No.
First of all, hashtag dick pics has no merit. It's not a pun. You're just trying to own the thing you did that was awful.
They
and
did
weird.
clarify. Andy asked about specifically what happened, and they said again, Snapchat. He sent it to 4 people.
Not his children.
Well, they didn't say. And he goes, but it wasn't a normal dick pic. It was limp. And Andy was like, you're going to have to show me at the break. And then he was like, just kidding. HR issue. No, you don't need to show
Yeah.
me.
Well, and then Tamara at one point says, I've seen Ryan's penis. I would never be interested in it. It's very small. And Shannon goes, well, it was limp. Do you remember that part?
Yeah, when they were going up the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you should definitely watch what happens
I
after.
will.
And during this Nobu dinner, it's announced that David Bador is getting divorced.
Now that was great. That finally this dinner had some merit. That wasn't fake. The fact that the timing that they all
right.
learned that
It was
that
like
Heather,
TMZ.
Yeah, Heather learned it right then, and then Shannon knew it already,
Yeah.
but it was still interesting. And, then
And he filed on him and Shannon's wedding anniversary.
I want Shannon and David to come back so bad.
That would be insane.
I loved them together. No, I mean they were.
Here lies Shannon.
Yeah, what would you say to each other if they were dead? Right?
It's the best.
Yeah, that was awesome. People don't like David Bedour, right?
No, he was mean.
He was to Shannon.
I think, well, he just hated her. It's always really sad when you watch people that are on the verge of divorce and they just don't like each other.
Like, kind of like Drew and Ralph, but they weren't as
Yeah.
bad as.
Yeah, like remember he like works construction, right? So he'd always have to leave at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So they never saw each other.
Okay, I don't recall what if David was mean and horrible to Shannon, then I disavow him.
Yeah.
Completely.
And then next week we get to meet the other Heather, who seems to be the keeper of all the secrets.
Oh, what 1/3 of the new Tres Amigas who got
Exactly.
kicked out because the vibe was too bad and she kept getting sent dick pics by Heather's
Exactly.
significant other. And then what else? Oh, she was also the person who heard the rumor that when Ryan walked in, that rumor also gets worse and worse. It's like, I'm going to fuck her no matter what. I promise I'm going to fuck her. He was telling everyone.
It's like, mark my words. But then we also get to see the real Tres Amigas because Vicky's back, baby. Martha's looking at you like,
I'm
what
sorry,
in
Martha.
the hell?
I'm sorry, Martha. I only hoot and holler for Vicky every once in a while. They've been saving Vicky for too long. She's coming
know.
in mid-season. I need Vicky every single episode.
Yeah. And then I wrote down Shannon Bombshell.
What is
which she says something about, if this is true about John, our relationship is over.
Oh.
But I don't know what it is.
Oh,
but
her
their
and- her
relationship is over.
Yeah, her and John are Splitsville. You can tell. He's
Totally.
like, we're not fun at all. And she goes, we're not. Well, I was going to do Shannon, but I'm not going to. It's like, we're not fun. And he's like, no, we have no fun at all.
He's like, you need to stop working so much because I want to party.
Yeah, dude, John wants
Junie.
to party.
Sorry, my cat is trying to eat dried flowers.
Does she do that often?
Sometimes I don't usually put them on the floor, but they
Oh,
were
'cause-
blocking our view.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a perfect time
Come here.
to, I'd say, wait, it's 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Oh, wow, perfect.
We got to hit 2 hours and 50. I would say we actually talked for longer about OC in Atlanta than I even thought, but it was actually fun to talk about it.
Yeah, it was.
Less fun to watch, more fun to talk about the good moments, like the best of.
Like I've said, having this to gear up for makes it more fun to watch, whereas if I'm watching it passively, I just don't pay attention and I take nothing away from it.
Yeah, you wouldn't even remember any moments. All right, well, do you feel comfortable wrapping it up?
I think so. Yeah, is there anything else we're looking forward to in the Bravo universe?
I am looking forward to seeing if the RHONY trajectory gets better or stays consistent or starts to flop. I'm excited about just to judge it, and see how they do. I'm excited for the next installment of RHONY and Sonya, Welcome to Crappie Lake. And then I'm actually excited about it all because I like talking to you about it.
Yeah, I guess we should bid Godspeed to our listeners. If you are trying to buy BravoCon tickets today, by the time this drops, it'll be any minute now.
Yes, and I'll just say yes. Okay, yeah. If this episode is going to come out before BravoCon tickets go on sale, I will say the pre-sale VIP tickets already sold out within 1 hour of them being available. The pre-sale VIP.
Okay.
So in general admission, they said there were a few left. You got a general admission pre-sale, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I honestly think supplies are limited, at least unless that's just to get fervor up.
Right.
But I don't know. But yeah, good luck. I hope you can make it. Amy and I are going to be there, and we are going to go fucking nuts. I'm going to be drunk the entire time, right?
I'm going to be, they're going to have to wire me up like how Pink is at her concert, and I'm just going to shoot from like the Slotzilla from venue to venue.
Hell yeah. We're going to be drunk. We're going to be on wires. We're going to be wearing our Newsies outfits from 1920s.
Yeah.
We're going to ask one question to every single Bravo celebrity that we see. It's so much fun. We can't wait. November is going to be
Yep.
amazing.
November 3rd through 5th.
Okay, little business. You can tune out right now, but I just want to say, please, for the love of God, what the hell are you doing? Subscribe on YouTube. If you got this far and you don't subscribe on YouTube, you have to like us a little bit.
Yeah.
Why not just become a subscriber on YouTube, and you don't have to do anything with that. We barely bother you.
It
on
won't
there.
bother you at all. You'll hardly notice. You can also rate and review.
Yeah, we
on
love
iTunes.
we love our reviews.
Join our Patreon if you haven't. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, we get into shenanigans over there.
We get canceled almost every single week. We have a little discussion board with our Villa Rosa VIPs where we talk about things. They correct us on any horrible thing we say. It is fun. So the ways, if you love this, the ways you can help Amy and I, if you want to, if you cherish us, it's a YouTube subscription. It's a review, is very helpful. And then the greatest thing you can ever do is to be a part of our Villa Rosa VIP program.
Yeah.
That thing is hot. Like that helps us out tremendously. So
I hope we can get to a place one day where we can have physical membership cards.
oh, for sure.
It's like, remember at like Oz or Spencer Gifts where they had fake IDs that were of famous people?
Yes.
Like you could buy the McLovin ID.
Yes.
Or like,
How many of those did you buy?
I have like 400.
Yeah, they had the guy from Sugar Ray, Mark McGrath. Who else did they have?
Maybe like Elvis.
Okay, yeah. So there's McLovin, Elvis, the guy from Sugar Ray. Yeah, man,
Homer
that was
Simpson.
awesome. So we'll have a card like that, right?
Yeah.
It'll say, this card permits you to become a Villa Rosa VIP. It'll have Ken and Lisa's head.
Yeah.
Use this.
We have
For-
to design a crest.
Yes. And use this to have free admission to Villa Rosa anytime you want.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we love you so much. We're trying to hit our 3-hour mark, but we just can't make it.
Too tired.
Yeah. All right, we love you. I hope you love this episode, and please sleep good tonight.
I know I will.
Me too. I'm tired as hell. Good night.
Bye.
This one's for you tonight.